right, so hit that notification bell. Yes, right there. And then, hit the subscribe button first, then the notification bell, and then all videos. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? That doesn't really sound like Grady Judd. But yes, go ahead and hit that, all right?
Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Well, there's Chloe. She's been to we took her to the emergency room and they said everything seemed kind of normal. I think she just has like something upset her in her stomach. They didn't do any x-rays or anything. Yeah, they didn't do any x-rays. They just, they did a blood work, said she was a little bit dehydrated, but, other than that, she seems like she's in a better mood. What are you doing, Blue? He's trying to avoid something. Wow, I'm curious. It's weird. What's he doing right there? Blue, yeah. It's almost like she was taking up the whole bed and he couldn't get in it. But you notice how she's not moving around very much. She seems a little bit like it's bugging her or something. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe tomorrow she'll... That was kind of weird. Blue was trying to like climb up in the back there. Anyways, thanks for on the video that I put out today that was kind of the conglomeration of all of the different interviews in one. Thanks K-Me, Jessica Schubach, Paulette Leonard, Danielle, I Said What I Said, Sparrow, and K-Me for some super chat there. I think it came out to like $20 or something. So hey, why not, Now, somebody out there, one of the freaks bought us those cool paw beds there. So I don't know. Now, nobody's ever admitted that they bought them. There's a blue one just like it. Alright, anyways, let me get to the other screen here. Maybe not that one, this one right here. Yeah, so I figured out a way to avoid trolldom on the Skype phone calls. How do you like that? It's awesome. So if you call in tonight, I'll just answer the phone, but there won't be any ringing or anything. I know that's weird, but they can call in as many times as they want, and sure. There you go. There's the troll right there. See that little green light there, you guys? That's the troll. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make any noise. It's not bothersome. It's just, there they go again. They're calling again. See that? Calling again. Poor troll. Oh, poor troll. He doesn't get to do it anymore. Yeah. Anyways. Nah, because they use like an anonymous number. That's all they have time to do. And I can't see them at all. I just turned off that window there. But what a weird life that would be, to be sitting around and like they just can't wait to start dialing again. It's hilarious. I think I wanted to talk about at the beginning of the show the Delphi case and the murder sheet. So the murder sheet, they weren't covering the Delphi case at all. They were covering the, restaurant murders or some shit like that. Absolutely doing terribly. And so one day they picked up on the Delphi case once Keegan Kline was mentioned back in 2019, or I don't know if it was 2020 actually, when Keegan Kline was mentioned. And they jumped aboard and, started putting out content on their podcast. And they always were, basically, they're probably the most hypocritical podcasters or anybody that I've ever seen in the social media realm. I mean, these people are embarrassments, okay? They come out here and they tell everybody, oh, well, our sources say. But if anybody else has a source, they're just clout chasing. But, so they put out this podcast the other day, and they were trashing Fig Solves because his name was mentioned in a document. And they're trashing him into oblivion. But every single thing that they put out was false on him. Okay? And I don't really know how else to explain it other than that right there. Yeah, he's a good person, Fig Solves is. He's a thoughtful, nice person who doesn't need YouTube or anything like that. And so they put out this big podcast. Hey, thanks, Mama. She 13. All right, everybody, let's go. Let's get the goal tonight early so we don't even have to think about it the rest of the show. Wouldn't that be great? So they did this podcast where they virtually sat there and trashed every single other YouTuber out there, and they're the only righteous ones. They are so ethical, everybody. I mean, they are just so awesome. Man. Everything that they claimed every other YouTuber does, they've done 1,000,000 times. Okay? Especially the part where they claim that everybody goes, well, I've got this source. And that's all they ever do. That's all they ever do, for God's sakes. What's the for, Cindy? Yeah, whenever you do that, I just want to block you. I don't know what the hell you're saying. Type in a sentence that's meaningful. Anyways, these guys are... at first, I thought, wow, these guys are pretty cool at the beginning. And this is how it actually worked, everybody. At the beginning, they'd come on my show a couple times, but they got as much as they could out of me. So at that point, it was easy to throw somebody under the bus. So I remember they called me up and said, hey, Gray, hey, check it out. They believe, the investigators, they believe that, Keegan Kline's father is absolutely involved in this case. And then I was on the phone, I go, oh, so they've, but you've already talked about that on their podcast. She goes, yep, we already talked about it. And then I texted later and I said, are you absolutely sure? She goes, yes, 100%, she typed in, right? Then, what was it? Like a day later, because I did a show where I was saying, hey, everybody, the murder sheet thinks that the investigators are really into Keegan Kline's dad. Man, they are absolutely on it. And then they said, we heard that you said that we said that. And I go, I know, you talked about it on your freaking podcast. Okay? And then they go, okay, great, thanks for clearing it up. And then I tried contacting them again, no response. 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 And then after like 7 times, like trying to get a hold of them, they never responded again. But then they go out there and say, oh, that Gray guy, he said stuff that we weren't, what? You told me. And they also tell everybody they like to work things out. We like to talk through things. No, they don't. I think they're just piles of shit, both of them, okay? I've never seen anybody treat other people worse than they do, okay? Now, you guys might go, God, Gray, well, you're mean, too. I mean, the one time... listen, I treat other people that treat me like garbage, okay? That's how it works. Anyways, man, I can't believe it. It's really unreal. Let me see if I can find, hold on a second, let me get this thing that, so when the truth comes out, all of these people that are trashing Fig Sauls are going to be embarrassed. Every one of them. Okay? Like sometimes he told other trolling podcaster, like YouTube wackos, like, oh yeah, because they'll say, hey, Fig Sauls, why are you involved? He goes, well, Fran Gold's my aunt. And they actually believed it and like put it out there. Oh my God, give me a break. These people. And they made it sound like Mark Cohen was just this great guy out there. He's the guy that was putting out the information. He got it from Robert Fortson, right? And then Westerman gave it to Fortson. Fortson gave it to Mark Roberts, and then he's the one that disseminated it. And now they're trashing Mark Cohen. I mean, it just... oh, God. Let's see. Let me see if I can find this little bullet point there. Vince was... oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't you think it's interesting how their podcast now doesn't seem to have any inside information once the Westerman investigation happened? Don't you guys find that a little bit interesting? That after the leaking of material that should never have seen the light of day, it came out, they never heard another word. And guess why? Because remember, to save their own asses, they sent the crime scene photos into... let's see, they sent them into McClelland. Okay. These guys. And they were well aware, by the way. Remember when I told you guys that there was going to be a document coming out? There's somebody in the chat right here that knew also, actually before me, and then told me about it 2 weeks before it came out. Well, they knew that too. They actually set up appointments. Here, check this thing out. See, I've got these screenshots on here where... let's see, Fig Sauls writes back to them and says, okay, sounds good. So the plan is to wait until something is put out in public, such as filing, and then we'll record a podcast. I will block some time out this Friday and next Friday, just in case. And then the murder sheet wrote back, let's plan on Friday, September 22nd. Remember the document came out on the 19th? That way, if something drops late this week, we'll have time to mull over ponder the implications. So they were well aware that information was coming out, and to be honest with you, they had a really cozy relationship with the defense team. They often mentioned it and how proud they were, and they also interviewed, if you recall, Westerman. And isn't it also kind of interesting when they interviewed Westerman that they didn't transfer that to YouTube. It was the only podcast in that series that they didn't transfer. It's still out there on the Apple podcast, but the one related to Westerman didn't get transferred over there. Ooh, wow. And by the way, how in the hell were you interviewing Westerman? Some guy that used to work for Baldwin and happens to be the leaker. Is it possible, I'm just opining, that Westerman was the person that you were getting your inside information from? I mean, just a crazy thought. I know that's weird. Hey, thanks, Lasso Lacey. Now, there's probably people watching right now that have no idea what the hell we're talking about, because we're talking about the Delphi case out of Indiana, which is it's been a crazy case over the years, but just turned into a shit show in the last 6 months. Unbelievable. Let's see. But don't you think that's interesting that they interviewed Westerman? How in the hell did they interview him? What are you talking about, Jules? I'm talking about these people out there that are making a podcast and trashing every other podcaster because we might have a source here and there, and they think they're all clout chasing, which is all they've ever done since they started YouTube or their podcasting is clout chasing. Every episode talks about, hey everybody, we've got our inside sources. We can't really mention who they are, but we're... Yeah. And if somebody blocked that Jules B person, I'm sure that was a troll. So anyways, it's important to call... Yeah, no, I'm talking about this right now because, you know, I consider Fig Solves a friend of mine, and I think what the murder sheet just did to him was absolute trash. I mean, absolutely trashy, shitty behavior. And I think what should happen is all the other people out there that have been on YouTube that have had the same types of encounters with them should put out their horror stories regarding them. Because they, for example, I remember one time they told Fig Solves not to go forward with the leaking information, don't come forward, and the very next day they put out a podcast on it. They just didn't want him to scoop them. I mean, they are just, oh God, it's just ridiculous. And I told him, don't listen to him. Put out whatever information you got. Do it right now. And he goes, I don't know. And then, boom, they put it out. So that's just the way they are, everybody. Can't, you know, they have that little appearance in the way they talk where everybody thinks, wow, they're so genuine and just sort of... But just look at how they take care of themselves, and then you'll realize what their real mentality is in the world, okay? Just disgusting. Can't stand them. You know, I used to like them, but I absolutely disliked them, even though they were putting out stuff that seemed relevant and interesting. It turns out it wasn't related to anything. Yeah. All right. So they all are sellouts. I don't know. Oh, people think they can tell a creator or their own channel. Well, those are just the trolls that show up. Like, I don't really care. Like somebody like Jules B who showed up here. Those are the least important people that I've ever seen. They come in, they try to throw something out there, really quick little jab, and it's just, they're uninteresting. Really boring lives, I'm sure. So, anyways, that's just what I wanted to talk about at the beginning. Maybe one of these days we'll actually have a show where he can come on and explain all of the various things that have been put out there that are false. For example, one of the things they talk about is how there's an email exchange where McClellan mentions to delete the emails. And that's true. It's a true story. Guess what it was referring to, everybody? Yeah, see, Fig Solves had the crime scene photos. He was given them by somebody out there. And he contacted McClellan, and McClellan said, you need to delete those. Okay? Okay. Wow, how nefarious. Yeah. It's ridiculous. All right, guys, we're starting out the show here really slowly again. So if you're out there, I'm doing a show regardless on tonight. If you want to help support the channel, we got to keep on trucking this month we're doing well. We could have one of those big months where we can actually catch up to the first 2 months, which were okay, but not the greatest. All right, so if you're out there and you can help support the channel, if it makes, I don't want anybody sending any super chats or anything like that if it affects your life, okay? But if you can and you want to help support the channel, that would be great, because at the end of each month and during the month, as you've seen, we give away a ton of the income from the channel to various true crime related charities, including our DNA fund and our scholarship fund. All right. So let's get trucking, you guys. I mean, this is like dead as a doornail again. Or I think it's just over time my voice falls on deaf ears. It always takes somebody else. Have you done any research on the missing teen? No, I have not. I'm not interested. Let's see. Hello, found you're searching for... I don't know what case you're talking about. Like, everybody thinks that everybody's supposed to be interested in the cases that they're interested in, and I don't know. You have to send me emails, and then I can look things up, you know, get links and check it out, and all those different things. Yeah, so Cat Toes, just send me a link to my email, and then I'll probably, you know, take a look at it. There was one girl that was missing, and she was found. She showed up. So maybe that's the one you're talking about. Somebody sent me a link. Hey, great, look at this, look. And I looked it up, and at the very top it said she's been reunited with her family. So you might want to see if that's the one that you're referring to. I've been on for 22 minutes now. Thanks, Georgina Stoliker and Kami. One they were talking about is a teenage boy with autism, I believe. Okay, I don't know which one that is. Just send me a link. Have you looked into Sebastian Rogers' case? I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, like I said, just send me emails on it, okay? That's all you got to do. Okay, that's the autistic kid. Okay. Don't know. Thank you, Mustang Sally. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the pictures. He looks a little bit like Kyron Horman, sort of. Yeah, I've seen pictures of him, I think. Right, but it doesn't help me just typing in 15-year-old boy who's been missing for over a week. What you should do is just send me an email with one link in it about the case, and then I can go from there. I don't need you to do any research or anything like that. So many missing and murdered kids lately. Yeah, a lot of them. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Cunningham. Forgot the name. What's the name of the kid? The Hmong kid. And then, you know, Madeline Soto. Oh, I forgot to change the title of this thing. It was supposed to just be, not sure why it says it on there. Let's see, random case discussion. Just like my thumbnail said. Do people read the thumbnail or the wording below it more? I don't know. All right, there we go. Yeah, Elijah Vu. Yeah. So they've never actually... they've never made any progress finding him, huh? Yeah, so how about, I mean, you guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about tonight. I just wanted to talk about that first topic because it's been bothering me. And, my opinion is that the murder sheet, Kevin and Anya are unethical people who treat a lot of the people that have helped them absolutely poorly. Whenever they're done using them, they trash them into oblivion and move on to something else, okay? They would have nothing if nobody else helped them out, okay? So I'm not interested in that. I think they're an embarrassment. And, I'm sure they'll send me an email too, like they did Fig Solves, and go, no, we're doing an episode and we just feel like it's right that we're able to write about you too in a negative way, and oh God, they actually sent him an email explaining how they're going to trash him on their episode. Who does that? Unbelievable. Yeah, I remember the neighbor's car. We talked about that the other day. I don't know what they are. I don't know what you want to call them. I mean, law enforcement seemed like they were into Keegan Kline and them before. They had a source in there. They talked about it every single day. How they seem to always know when documents were going to be uploaded. It's really pretty amazing. And they just happened to get this one document one time, randomly, that happened to be uploaded. I don't know. It seems like a little bit more contrived. Okay, well, how about we just open up the phone lines, and if you want to call in about any of these topics, I mean, Madeline Soto, sure. I mean, we've been talking about that for a week here. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. We seem to be in one of those really crappy slow nights where I can be making a video for tomorrow or something like that. I hope cops do deep dive into the electronics. I have a strong Madeline stepdad. I don't know what that means. Sorry. I can't read after that sentence. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what you're talking about, Humanimal. You gotta type in a better sentence than that. That's horrendous. I know you want to get in something really fast and try to get somebody to watch something that you made, but good video compilation earlier. Yeah, well, just put it all together. I was gonna edit it down, but I was thinking to myself, well, I think there's so many parts that, well, it's hard to get rid of something. So I just have it all in one place, and there's chapters you can click on and go watch. Yeah, we still don't know what you're saying, Humanimal. You can't type for some reason. Nobody knows what you're saying, okay? I don't know what that means. I have no idea, man. No idea. How can you make out friend of stepfather vid when ibrilazed your live? Man, how in the hell do you know what that means? Man, you guys are amazing. Is that girl code right there? You guys figured that out? Hello, everyone. Re-listening to Madeline, friend of Stephan vid when ibrilazed your live. Man, you guys are better. Look at. Let me put it on the screen here. Does that make sense to some of you? No, wait. I realized you're okay. I mean, I don't know how you do it. That's pretty funny, man. I guess it sort of makes sense now. All right, I get it now, Humanimal. But man, you gotta make it so I can understand a little bit better than that. Quickly. I don't have time to ponder and Let's see. Ibrilist Yoyer. Okay. Well, it looks like a lot of people in here. Kami said she taught kindergarten, so could actually figure it out. So does anybody want to call in? Let me know if you're calling in or not. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Okay. Anyways, yeah, make it easier for them. Well, you got to just type in an actual sentence, where somebody actually knows what you're saying. I don't have time to sit there and decipher and figure things out. I don't know what you're trying to show me. Somebody named Little Figment. You think that's his account because he worked at the ride was Figment character in the ride he used to work at? I don't know. Let's see. An ex-con guest on the Joe Rogan podcast was arrested. Yeah, I saw that. It was weird. Like, he was literally like a ex-con on Joe Rogan's show who was sort of like, outreach for troubled youths, kind of like pick a better path, and he's out there dismembering bodies and ridiculous. I saw that. I saw the new post about Dylan Round's case. Oh yeah, what'd she say in the Dylan Round's case? Is there anything new in that one? Whose username? Whose? I would like to relay my theory on why Stephan said Matt. Oh, well, you have to call in, Lindsay, or then we're not listening. Call in or not. That's how it's going to work. We won't be reading it in chat. If you want to call in and discuss it, that'd be great. Oh, okay. Well, where was that at? The hey, thanks, LM. Gray, couldn't agree more on your thoughts tonight. Fixalls is a good person, respectful like you to the case and the victims' families. Thanks for speaking him up. Maybe is that right? Am I learning a little bit the code? So this might be sort of interesting if this is, if there's any, I don't know where it came from or, what page, like nobody told me if it's on Facebook or Twitter or wherever the hell this is coming from. But right here it says, Madeline Soto right here, and then Little Figment is her like username or something like that, and that's the apparently that is the hold on. Apparently that's the character's name at the theme park that Stephan Sterns worked at. I guess it's on Instagram. Okay. So she has an Instagram account that is it just says Little Figment on it. But apparently that's Madeline Soto, but then Little Figment, and Figment is the name of the character in the ride where that's kind of interesting, right? I mean, I don't know what it means. He could have said, hey, I work here, why don't you? And then she made an Instagram account. I don't really know. But see, there's her name right there, and there's Figment. And then we have, let me see if I can open up the hello. Hold on a second. 540, you're on. Oh, there it is. 540, you're on. Oh, guess that didn't work. Almost worked. Ding, 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 ding. I'm just looking for that YouTube video now. Seven. Yeah, there it is. So. Ah, jeez. How do I?
More than just beautiful dance. It's a touch.
Showing you a tour of our laboratory here today.
So if you look right here, it's Journey into Imagination with Figment Ride. Okay? And then her Instagram right here is Little Figment. So maybe he kind of like made her be a little Instagram name, sort of like, hey, this is really cute and everything. Make it about with my name in it at the place that I work at Disneyland, right? I mean, it's related somehow, right? I mean, if this is a true account created by her, or even him for her, I mean, who knows, then it's got to be related to the job he was working at there. No, it does work. It does work. The phone number does work. Yeah, it definitely works. I tried answering it. You know, the problem, just dial in and I'll see it, okay? Don't worry about it. So try dialing in again, I'll answer it. Hey, look at that, it's Ron Logan is not your bish. Some love sent on behalf of those unraveled bishes. Yeah, I don't answer any phone calls that say anonymous on it, all right? So if it says anonymous, they won't be answered. So if you're using your actual phone number, I'll answer the call. There's one. All right. Is this 206? 206. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Turn down the audio and everything in the background. Who's this?
This is Wes.
Well, how come you? What do you mean? This is Wes? I mean, that means it's not really your name, right?
That is my name.
Oh, okay, because you had that weird pause. Like normally when somebody says your name, you go, "Oh, it's Gray." Yeah. Anyways, yeah. What do you got?
Gotcha. I just wanted to hear your true interpretation on the Brian Kohberger case. Like, what do you think? Do you think he's guilty? Like, what is your interpretation on that? I'm really curious about that.
I mean,
I watch you a lot in my free time. I haven't been as much lately, but I was just curious.
Well, I mean, you've heard me talk about it a million times, haven't you? The Brian Kohberger case. I mean, I covered it like extensively for months, so you haven't heard me. I mean, I absolutely believe he's guilty, 100%. No, I have no like any sort of like, well, I'm just not sure, that kind of stuff. I mean, I've made like literally hundreds of videos on it, you know. You know. Right. No, I've seen that. I just wanted to hear your interpretation on it. I think it's just a very interesting case, and well, it's interesting. It's interesting in terms of like, wow, look at all the stuff he did, but it's not like confusing or, you know, things just don't make sense, as people like to say. Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying.
I agree
when
with
people
you.
say that, they're delusional. Yeah. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing that is, wow, things just don't add up. It makes complete sense. The guy was stalking the house. He planned and plotted, even did like scouting missions. He was there late at night on multiple other occasions, 11 different times. And he knew the area, and then on that night he drove there. He turned his phone off at 2:47. He drove all the way over to Moscow, Idaho, was seen on Indian Hills Drive at 3:26, so about 45 minutes after he turned his phone off. Then at 3:28 he's driving by the A&W with his white Elantra, which was missing its front license plate. Then at 3:29 he drives into the area of 1122 King Road, then goes on to 112 King, or drives right by 112 King Road, and then goes behind the number 52, 500 Queen Road, number 52, and does it 3 different times. And on the final pass, after he drove around from 3:30 to 4:08, he just kept doing loops, stalking the house. And then at 4:08, he parks the car. And then at 4:08 to 4:20, at 4:20 the car speeds away at a high rate of speed, and that means the white Elantra was parked right next to the house for 12 minutes. And inside of that 12 minutes, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Coronado were all murdered, and then on one of the beds in the house, during that 12 minutes, a knife sheath was left with Brian Kohberger's DNA on it, which matched which verifies that the white Elantra driving around was his white Elantra, because the knife sheath is on the bed during those 12 minutes. Then he drives home, and he's so paranoid because he was pulled over twice that he goes home and he starts sorting through trash at his house using gloves, taking his trash out of the garbage, putting it into plastic bags, and then putting that garbage in his neighbor's garbage can. And when the detectives collected the trash and got DNA, they only found the father's DNA, which is exactly what Brian Kohberger wanted to achieve. He didn't have his DNA in those garbage cans. So Brian Kohberger is 100% the killer. And don't forget, though, after he left at 4:20 in the morning at a high rate of speed, after the 12 minutes where the murders happened, 27 minutes later, he turned his phone on near Blaine, Idaho, which is south of Moscow, Idaho. And then he continues to loop all the way around and goes back up into Pullman. Right. So the thing is he's the guy, man. There is no doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a plea deal coming up. I think that's the reason that his attorney is so far behind, is she sees the writing on the wall. She's absolutely...
Why do you think he wants to go to trial? It's just kind of shocking to me.
Well, she doesn't want to go to trial.
I agree with everything you're saying.
She doesn't want to go to trial. That's what I'm saying. She's trying to delay. And she's really just trying to set up something where it's going to take forever. And I think she needs time to convince Brian Kohberger to try to do a plea deal, because she sees this stuff. Now, how interested would you be into reading everything when you know that your client's guilty based on the information that you have now? Like, she's absolutely got all the information. It pins their client in. There is no escape. And that's why, because here's the thing, all of us are so interested, man, you're just going to read everything. But if you're like his attorney and you already know he's absolutely guilty, how motivated are you to start reading documents every time they come in? Move, yeah, look at this, when you already just know there's no chance, right? And I think that's exactly where she is. That's where I think she is. So, I don't think the family wants, none of the family members want to accept a plea deal, though. That's the thing. This is a death penalty case all the way through.
It's such a unique and interesting crime. I feel like it's just worth talking about. But it's like, yeah, just within such a small time frame that could have happened, and then it just turns out to be, yeah, and all the evidence points that way. But yeah, it's a very unique crime.
Well, I love talking about it. I mean, some people don't like it. They're like, oh my God, but I do, because I like when somebody says something and I can immediately rebut it with something more reasonable than they're saying. Because all these conspiracy theory nutters, everything that they say is easily, you can easily combat it with something that makes more sense than they're saying. You see? Yeah. So, there you go. That's all I got.
Yeah, you would say pretty much 100% for sure you think it's Brian Kohberger?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't. Where's the out for him? You know, like somebody else would have to have had his phone, and then a convention of other white launchers driving around at 3:30, missing a front license plate. That would be incredible, you know. And that car driving around behind the house is a white launcher. It's the same car each time it goes around. It isn't. Oh, look, it's got that box back. You know, you got to consider that the camera is a wide-angle lens. And that's at an extreme angle off to the left on the edges, and it's going to be distorted. But you can see it's the same vehicle, has the same sound exactly as it's going around. It's the same one.
Do you think it's very feasible? I wanted to ask you this as well, though. Do you think it's very feasible that he did commit that crime in that period of time? Is that feasible?
Well, absolutely. Did you ever watch my 9 Minutes of Hell video?
I have not yet, no.
Well, then you haven't watched all my videos. But when you watch that one, you watch it and you'll absolutely see, oh God, Jesus. Because I have him walk through the back. I start a clock, and I start a clock right when he enters the home, and he walks up the stairs, just regular speed, goes up the stairs, even goes into Kaylee's room first, then goes into Madison's room, and I stop the clock for 3 minutes in Madison's room. And that 3 minutes is the longest freaking 3 minutes. I mean, it just takes forever. And everybody, if you just picture, you go, oh my God, he could have done it way quicker than that. Probably killed Madison very quickly. Then Kaylee got up and it maybe took him 30 seconds. You know, they're intoxicated. But still, I let the clock go for 3 minutes. Then I have him just slowly walk downstairs, have him go in, walk into the living room, into Xana's room. And then I have 6 minutes of time go off. 3 minutes just for Ethan. Like 2 minutes and 50 seconds, 2 minutes and 50 for Xana. And then he walks out and he's back up in the car by 4. I think I have him up there. It's from 4:09 because he parks at 4:08. I'm just assuming that he's doing some mitigation outside the car, maybe setting some stuff aside for his re-entry. So he finally gets into the house at 4:09, maybe even 4:10, and then takes 8 or 9 minutes doing the killing, and then comes back up to the car, changes out something really quick, and then speeds away at a high rate of speed at 4:20. Absolutely doable. There's been many, many crimes that have happened in less time and more people, and they weren't even drunk or sleeping.
And do you think they have more evidence? Do you think that... And I'm really curious about your opinion on this, but do you think they have more evidence on him? Like, do you think that they found some stuff in his car, or do you think, there was a quick...
Oh, I guarantee you that they have way more evidence. I think they have forensic evidence that absolutely points to him, and these are all the things that the defense team will never leak because it absolutely destroys the little cult that they have out there of these people going, oh, Kohberger, he's so cute. I wish I could date him. It's disgusting, really. But anyways, they're never going to explain or show any of that stuff because it's horrible. You know, I guarantee it that they don't only have what was on the probable cause. You got to just remember.
Well, that's what I kind of found shocking. Not to interrupt you, but just I found that shocking as well. As I thought that I was like, they have to have more on him. Like, there's no way that, you know, there's no way it would have gone this far unless they had, you know, like more evidence.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, they have to have. So you got to remember, the probable cause came out just while they were doing the arrests in Pennsylvania. That's it. You know, that little time that they had. Okay, they got the DNA that led to there, but after that, that's really when the investigation goes into full bloom, right? Now they get the warrants, they're grabbing all the stuff, they're doing this and that, and getting the digital information back, the FBI, the cell phone data is even more dialed in. They've got this guy. I bet you he's absolutely... I think that's why I always know... it's weird how if you agree that they got the right guy, you are nuts. But if you believe it, it's like, you know, the guy that's been arrested, the guy that had the white Elantra, the guy that was driving around near the home many, many times, the guy, you know, if you believe that's the guy that they've even arrested for the murder with no bail, then you're crazy. It's got to be Brent Kopaka and the merry band of wackos. Yeah.
Who says that?
Well, just all of YouTube. What do you mean? It's all over the place.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, all right, man. Well, hey, I hope I got some good answers for you there.
Gotcha. I'd like to talk more. I wish I could, but...
Okay. Well, you have more to say, or?
No, I wanted to know more about the Delphi case, but I probably don't have enough time with you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. I get that one. Hello.
Hello.
Who's this?
Lillian. This is Lillian.
What's going on?
Oh my God, Gray! I was waiting any minute.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but I don't like to talk about anybody that calls in because, you know, I do my share. But I was waiting any minute for him to be a troll.
Yeah, I'm still not sure.
I wasn't sure either, but I was waiting any minute because if you have to almost live in a cave not to know. Where are you going, Brother Gray?
I'm just getting some more water. I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
Listen to the show. I can hear you. I got headsets on.
I thought you were leaving me. Jeez.
Yeah.
But
there we go.
I'm telling you, I was waiting any minute. I thought, because I know you love to talk, especially, well, you know, Delphi, Idaho 4, but getting to, you know, all of them, you do such excellent work, and you get into them, and facts, period. But I was looking at Nancy. I kept thinking, troll. He's a troll. He's going to say something. But you know what, Gray? I think you're right, too. Like, what, Nancy?
I didn't know where you were going with that when you're looking at me and thinking troll.
Yeah. So anyway,
I've always thought Nancy was a troll. Okay.
Yeah, Nancy has been a troll today. You know what I did? You know, no, Nancy. Sorry, we joke around. But I think that you're right. Yes, she is stolen with the Idaho 4, but I don't.
Miss Daisy, go ahead.
What did she say? She said what? Who is?
Who?
What are you saying? Who's stalling?
The Kohberger's attorney.
Yeah, Kohberger. Yeah.
Because I don't know, but like you said, maybe there'll be a plea deal, but I don't know. I think he'll try for a plea.
I think he'll try for a plea deal.
Yeah, he might, but I don't know, Gray. He's so arrogant. I think he wants to see how this whole thing plays out. I just do. You know, it's a shame. It really, really is. And the Abby and Libby case, the sad part about that too, it's become a circus, and it's sad. I mean, my God, the years they've wasted on that, and there's been so many missteps in that. It's sad. I just hope all the families, don't bring their loved ones back, but at least they'll be able to get some. And I don't believe in closure. I told you that before. You just have to move on with what you have. There can never be closure when you have a loved one ripped out of your life like that. And this last one, the Soto, I'm still trying to, wrap my head around that, with the fact that this poor kid was molested for the past 2 years, and they all live in the same house, bipolar or not. And I'm not throwing stones at the mother, but it just seems to me that, if I had a child, I know what happens to Stevie all day long in My Little Animals. So if I had a child, you better believe that I would see some kind of red flag with what's going on. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a mother. But
yeah, well, everybody likes to say that, but we see a lot of cases out there where the predator hides it, and there's always an excuse made, and they convince the kid not to say something.
Well,
and,
I get that, Gray, but wouldn't you see some kind of awkward behavior with the child? I mean,
well, maybe.
If, you know
I don't know.
I mean?
Here's what I would do.
Like
I think everybody should go watch the Abducted in Plain Sight documentary.
Abducted in Plain Sight. Did we watch that, Nancy?
Well, it's on Netflix. It shows you
It's on Netflix.
It shows you the level of control these people try to exude. Like this guy, he actually got into a sexual relationship with the mother by saying all these nice things, and then he even got into one with the father somehow by convincing him to. It was just absolutely crazy, and just to have access to the child and then use them later, saying he'll tell them about that if you say anything about what I'm doing. So they actually, it became where they were kind of complicit later. But at the beginning, he was just tricking. They just thought he was this great person hanging around. He's just really friendly, and he was just awesome. And
well,
I don't know.
Greg, who were you saying was having a menage a trois with their kids?
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, you were saying there was a threesome at the mother. Who was it? The mother and the stepfather. Yesterday, you were saying about teaching kids. They wanted to teach them how to have sex with the mother.
Oh,
and the
that
stepfather.
other case. Yeah, that other case. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of sick world are we living in, Greg?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, to me, that makes
Provo, Utah. Everybody, Provo, Utah. Seems like a really fun place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. That is so out of the norm. That's why sometimes, I step away a little bit, because it gets to you after a while, and then I come right back. But I feel so sorry for these kids, because I had nieces and nephews, and they're grown up now with their own children, and they were like my little babies, and I could not stand to see anybody mistreat them, because my father and my brothers, who I loved and they loved me, they were decent men, and
yeah. Well, it wouldn't shock me at all if the mom knew and there's other stuff going on. I just don't really.
No, it wouldn't surprise me either.
I'm not going to go down the road of saying, "Oh my God, she has to."
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few things that you almost there. The 8 o'clock in the morning. If it turns out that law enforcement can, if they tell us that they know for certain that she was dead at like 3 in the morning, then I'll immediately think that Jen had knowledge of the death and was helping to cover it up intentionally, not just that she was told a story by Stephan. So
yeah, and Greg, he didn't put her far off the road either. It was like, my God, you showed those bushes, you could see right through the bottom. I mean, she was close to the road.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, I believe, and you believe he had a flat, but I mean, I think he was maybe panicking and just got around.
Yeah, but he has a flat tire though, because he has a replaced tire on his car.
Yeah, I saw the.
You think that's all part of the ruse? Is to put a fake tire on?
Yeah. It's. I don't know. It's just sad. So just. I'm gonna hang up with him, bit, but you know what I told you? I feeling better. You know what I did today, Gray?
What'd you do?
I put on the music. I was playing stuff from way back.
What year?
Shaka Khan. Listen, I'm a Jersey girl, Gray. I was playing a little bit of Spinner, Stylistics, Shaka Khan, Whitney. I was playing some Double Dutch Bust. Oh, I was on it. I was dancing around. Nancy said, "Hey, you better don't go too far." I had a blast, not blasting, but I was enjoying myself for the first time in a long time. So I said, I'm only maybe a half an hour max to Philly. I grew up with Motown, so you probably wouldn't even know some of the stuff, Gray. But I'll tell you what, I put on a couple one. They were rapping, and I thought of you.
Rapping to the beat.
Turn Gray on to
me,
this,
the groove, and my friends are going to try to move your feet. See, I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, we gotta. Don't you remember that one? That was the Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh, baby, you got it going on, Gray.
that was the Sugar Hill Gang. Don't you remember that one?
Double Dutch Bust.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was dancing to that. Look up that song. It's got such a good beat to it, Gray. I'm telling you, back in the day, I was doing that fast dance, calypso, all kinds of stuff. So listen, you keep on rapping. When I find one, I'm going to send it to you.
All right. Sounds great.
Hey, look, freaks. Let's go, okay? We got to get some waves going on.
That's right. That's what I keep trying to tell them.
Brother Gray.
But they don't listen, man. We got to get to the goals. We got to keep on trucking throughout the month.
The goal, baby, the goal. Hey, all right, Gray, I love you guys. And, P-Funk, there you go. All right, Gray, I'll talk to you. I'll see you, freaks.
All right.
And let's get these scumbags that are hurting these little kids.
All right.
Okay?
Well, thank you. Have a good one. Thanks for calling in.
Bye, Greg.
Glad you're feeling better.
Bye, Greg.
Right. See you. Lillian. All right. Don't let Lillian down, everybody. Let's get the waves going. Let's get the goals. Let's get moving. Wait, hold on. Got it turned down. Yeah, bang, bang, boogie to the boogie, say up jump the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie, let's rock. Let's don't stop to the rhythm to the, I can't remember all of the words, but I can do it for a long time. Like a hot diddy pop, dee pop, dee pop, diddy diddy pop, dee pop, pop, you don't dare stop it. I don't see anything, man. The goal's still where it was, you guys. The goal's still where it was. Hello, this is Gray. Who's this?
Hello. Is this Gray?
It is. Who's this?
Hi, Gray. I'm calling on the Soto case.
The Soto case? Okay. What's going on?
Well, I'm just thinking, I've went through all the material and I've watched your show and I've looked through all kinds of things. And to me, this is just some serious, scary red flags in this. And it's just not just a little hint there or something that, could happen and maybe we're, picking and looking too much. For instance, I just think this guy, he got too much entry into this home with this mother and daughter that shouldn't have occurred. It's just so weird. I mean, for one, he's being called a stepfather. That really bothers me. I can't believe people would do that. I feel like, I was a single mother, and it took a very, very long time before my husband was given that title or any kind of privilege to my kid like this one here. It's just I just feel like she, just screwed up on parenting 101, really. It's not like, there were some serious signs, like all the gift giving, and this boyfriend was being too bizarre on how much attention he was giving this child. That's a flag. I would have saw that. I think others would have saw that.
Well, what are you
weird.
talking about, though? Like, what part is there where he was giving too much attention that we're aware of, like that everybody saw that he was giving her too much attention? Where are you seeing that?
Well, when I was watching your show and listening to what was on there, just the different games. Every game this man purchased, he mentioned this girl.
Yeah, she would paint. Well, not every single thing, but like there were multiple screenshots where he mentioned how she painted something, and he was trying to involve her in his little games, and I wonder if that's sort of what he used as sort of leverage. Hey, I'll buy you these things if we can kind of go, who
grooming.
knows? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
there was some of that stuff, but like it'd be hard to know. Like if this guy was living with you for 6 or 7 years, does that seem weird at that point? Like to be involved in some games? I don't know. I want to know the whole story. We might find out in the next couple of days that she was absolutely involved the whole time, part of the whole thing.
He wasn't there all the time. He was in and out of her life.
But he lived there, even when they were broken up. He lived there for a year in the house. Yeah, so I don't even think they were broken up during that time. I think that was just what he told
So you're
people.
telling me that you would be okay and comfortable with riding someone else's little girl around by yourself with no one witnessing you? To me, that's a trap.
Well, let's say you're with somebody. So let me ask you something.
You could be accused.
So if you're with somebody
something,
for 6 years, you're not going to, like, let them take them to go to McDonald's or something? I'm just trying to say, like,
no.
I know.
No,
so that's what it. I know.
Very
So
weird.
Well, see, I don't. After a while, don't you trust the person? See, I think there's monsters out there, but are we going to say as a society that women can never find some guy that they can trust, and we got to all be treated like absolute psycho sex predators because some predator out there? I don't know. I think it's unfair and it's not healthy. It's just, I know if you want to be like that, yes. If you want to treat every guy like we're all monsters, then yes, your kid will. It probably will never happen again to another child. But
I wouldn't treat you like a monster. I would not want that occurring for you, because there could be a situation that would go down that would be uncomfortable, and you as a man, and that being a little girl, could be put in an awkward situation, and you have to explain yourself, and then everybody would be looking at you and judging you when you could be innocent. So I don't even want to put you in that position. And some men, after knowing a child for a very long time, won't go by themselves in certain places with the child because of that reason. They're trying to be.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Especially, I know, but I get it. We get it. Like everybody, it's been like this for, last 30 years. There's these times where a guy sort of feels weird if they're gonna grab a girl to pull her off the road if a car's coming, because people are like, oh, look, he's grabbing that girl. It's like they might be protecting their life, but they'll think that they're abducting the girl. That's just because of all the other shitty people in society, and so it sucks, so I don't know.
When it comes to opposite sex, okay, and you not being their parent, I want to protect you, and I want to protect them. So the thing is, no, I would not. I have a daughter, okay, and I never put her in a situation with a boyfriend Not because I didn't trust him, because I know what occurs in this day and time, and I don't want him in that situation where him and I get questioned by her father, or her be in a situation where she's uncomfortable and it ends up scarring her. And it could be something very simple. It could be words. It don't have to be touching. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to put a boyfriend with a child female and some males. You know what? If a little boy, you don't want a boyfriend or a girlfriend around him, I'm okay with that too. You just got to be safe. You got to protect everyone involved, because even things that are innocent can be taken wrong. And you got to realize too, if it's a boyfriend, they have no authority or power over your child. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if they start to act like the stepfather, or start telling the kid what to do, or trying to punish them, they get into a danger zone with the other parent that is not around. And again, they get pissed off. So, you know, there was things going on here where, and the gift buying, you know, you're not a stepfather. You're a boyfriend that's in and out. You don't have a job. And if you do, you're not really in the job for very long. And you're buying constantly for her. You're really getting detailed. You know what? I'd be like, hey, look, you know, you're spending too much energy into my kid. Hey, how about me? Hello?
Yeah.
You need to, you know, get to know me, the mother.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. There's people that agree with you. I don't agree with what you're saying at all. So I'm just listening. I'm almost like, I mean, I understand that there's these situations, but I feel like if you were in a relationship and you're dating for a while, even if you're not, you know, you'd probably want them to back up what you're saying. Like if you go, hey, do your room, and then the kid looks at the dad figure guy or the boyfriend, and you'd want him to say, yes, clean up your room like your mom said, not, hey, I agree with you, girl. You don't have to clean up your room because I want to be liked by you. I want to be, you know, I don't have any authority, so I don't want to say anything. It's just we're raising such a weak-ass bullshit society. See, the stuff that you're saying raises just a weak-ass, ludicrous society. It's just getting to a point where nobody can say anything anymore. I think there's very few pedophiles out there.
You have no
compared
right
to regular people.
I understand.
No, I have a right to say whatever I want to say. It's my show. You get what I'm saying? Or
I understand if you're married. If you're married, that's one thing, and you're a stepfather. But he was not a stepfather. And then on top of that, he was given the title. Unless someone just got that, you know.
Well, let's say you were dating someone for a couple of years. You wouldn't want them to back you up when you said, hey, you got to go clean up your room. And then they go look at your boyfriend after you've been dating him for a long time. You trust, you've gone on trips together. And you don't want them to say, yes, clean up your room like your mom said. You want them to just shut the hell up and just be some quiet little pansy.
They don't have authority over your child as a boyfriend.
Well, they don't have authority, but you don't want them to. I know they don't have any authority. They can't make them do something, but you don't want them to be like on your side. And I don't know, man.
No, they don't have to do that. I don't want them to be put in that position until they become a stepmother or stepfather, until they marry me. That's the thing. When they're a boyfriend and girlfriend, even the law doesn't give them rights to be able to
I'm not saying that they get to do that. What I'm
do.
saying is in the background, you don't want them, like you're on the same team. Like if they look at the boyfriend to get a different answer. Can I have a cookie? No, you can't have a cookie, you say. Then they look at the boyfriend. Can I have a cookie? You want the boyfriend to say, sure, because I don't want to be considered to be somebody that's trying to exude control. Okay, yeah, have the cookie. You know, you'd want them to say, no, do what your mom said, you don't get a cookie.
We need to discuss this with your parent, because I'm not your parent.
Oh, nobody's going to say that. Nobody in the world's going to say that.
Or what your mom says is what goes. I don't have the authority, I'm not your parent, to give you that cookie. That's your parents. You know what I'm saying? That's a boyfriend. You're trying to put him in a stepfather position. He was not a stepfather.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's where I feel like society is really screwed up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with some of the, like,
I'm going to tell you,
how it is.
You're going to see
Yeah.
he's not going to be protected as a boyfriend when it comes to that. And having say or having rights to what goes on with Madeline.
How come in the document it said that he's the stepdad in the actual police report?
That's what irked me, because it went from stepfather, and then it went from, you know, to be honest with you, your little thing you did, which was great, showed that even the friends you interviewed were saying, oh, he was in and out of her life. That's a boyfriend. That's not a stepfather. And I'm trying to figure out how that stepfather stuff get going from the beginning. And I can almost swear when they were interviewing her, she even called him a stepfather. And this is another thing. What kind of man do you got to sit there and hug like a baby when there's just a lot of weird stuff.
But that's what you want him. No, but you want him to be like that. That's what. No, but that's what it sounds like.
Be doing that to her?
No, but it sounds like you want him to be like that. You know, because he doesn't. Why would he be crying? He should just be curled up in a little ball. He's not the dad. He's just some guy that should just shut the hell up and, you know, just be like a little wimpy dude.
No. I'm just saying, you know, he don't seem like he's that interested in that female and her emotional. There's a lot of clues. Like what I'm saying is when she's hugging on him, I'm like, you know what? He's not showing her too much attention, which is weird. It's all about her daughter. Instead of her sitting there hugging him, how come he's not hugging on her? Because that's her daughter. She just lost her daughter. It's all really weird and bizarre.
I think he should be like that, but at the same time, you seem to want a guy that's a little bit a guy should be a little less involved. Like he should have just been, hey, where's your kid? Hey, ask the mom. I don't have any rights over this shit. Let her answer the questions.
As a boyfriend.
Right.
You do not.
I know, but even though he's the one that drove, right? He's the one that drove. So when they ask questions, they shouldn't have asked him a damn thing, because he doesn't have any right to answer anything. Right? So it should have just been her response.
He don't. And you're going to find out in this case that you're going to see the law go towards that way on the pendulum. They're going to let you know, you're a boyfriend. Why are you in the house? Why are you running this kid around? Why are you by yourself with her?
I know, but they got to ask him questions, right? You don't want him to answer questions.
Going to go on the pendulum towards what I'm saying. I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
That's not sad. It's not. You don't leave a grown-ass man with a child that does not belong to him by himself, where he's running her around and he's buying her.
Let me ask you something. Would there ever be a time where, like, if you live like 3 miles from the school and you're sleeping, you're really tired, you're not feeling well, and you say, hey, could you give her a ride to school? You would never do that, like, ever, if you trusted your boyfriend?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No.
Well, I guess that's where we differ right there.
Because this is the thing. I don't understand why the father is not involved, but my daughter's father was involved, and he wouldn't want some man that is not married to me rolling his kid around. And that's the thing. The man I married wouldn't feel comfortable rolling around with my daughter by himself. Okay?
How do you know? Let me ask you this, though. Once you're married, though, how do you know he's trustable at that point? How do you know he's trustable after you get married? Like, I would just forget men altogether.
Because the thing is, you have a relationship with them, and it's between you and them, okay? And your child, along the way, I mean, it is steps. I'm not saying that my husband never interacted with my daughter, but I didn't put him in a situation to where it was uncomfortable until he had been there a long time, and I knew he was going to be in our life for a long time, and he was committed to me as my husband. Then It turned around where he had more authority. And you know what? It was respected by my daughter, too.
Well, let me ask you this, though.
Because once
let me ask you this, though. Why would you marry somebody, like the day before you got married, why wouldn't you trust the person enough to give them a ride to the school, but then right after you got that license signed, all of a sudden now they're trustworthy? Like, what made it different in that one day?
Because you're not getting what I'm saying, Gray. I'm
totally get what you're saying. I just explained it to you.
I'm saying I don't want to put him in a position where he's by himself and there's no adult around, and that is not his stepchild or his daughter. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But I think it's the same perception of society, even when it's a stepdad and a child. You get that all the time. It's the same thing. I don't know if there's any...
Once he was married to me and committed to me, and I had been with him a long time, and the relationship was mainly me and him back and forth, one-on-one, I knew in my heart, deep in my heart, that, you know, you never could close your eye to no one, but I covered all bases as much as I possibly could to protect my daughter by the time I did allow him to have something to do with her as far as making choices for her or riding her down the road without me being there. Do you understand what I'm saying? You got to cover bases. You got to protect your children. That's parenting 101.
Yeah, but when you like want to trust them to, I mean, I know what you're saying. You keep using the I want to protect them. So it's one of those things where you always have that out, like saying it's a woman's right to choose in the abortion argument. Once you try to get into the rational argument about it, they always come back with that statement, and then there's nothing else you can say ever again. But in this argument here, you're using the, I'm doing it to protect the guy, and as soon as we're married, all of a sudden he can start driving and stuff, so I can't really have a rational conversation, because that's not, I don't think it's rational to say.
Because the thing is, if something goes down by law, my husband will be protected more as my husband, and I will have more of a fight in the matter with my daughter's father, saying, okay, you know what, I did the best I could to protect her. You know, I did the best I could to protect myself. I married the man. I committed myself to him. I was with him for a long period of time before I put my daughter in that position. I covered all bases. So, yes, this occurred. And you know what? I can, you know, walk away from it and heal from it better, knowing I tried to cover every base and be as safe as I possibly could, than to just throw everybody out there to the wolves and say, you know what? I could have done other things to be, you know, more responsible.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have the way you think about stuff, and then other people think differently, and there's probably somewhere in between, some people think, and some people, you know. I mean, I think people, I think a lot of people...
I wanted to ask you, Gray, one other thing.
Yeah.
Do you think she should get any, you know, leadway because she has a mental illness, or he has a mental illness?
Well, he doesn't have one. I mean, I think in her case, I think he might have chosen her mainly because she had a kid.
Why was he taking Adderall?
Huh? I'm talking about.
He was taking Adderall.
Well, he just likes to do drugs. You know, he's like he likes the feeling. Yeah. I mean, who knows who knows what the reason?
You don't
Maybe he has
knew
something
about that?
Well, I don't know if she. I mean, if she knew he was taking Adderall, maybe he explained it. You know, maybe he gave it to her sometimes. They did. Maybe it was a drug they like to do together. I don't know.
And so you would feel comfortable with your daughter riding around with somebody who does drugs?
Who said I felt comfortable with any of this stuff?
I'm just saying. There's a lot of red flags
your logic stream is weird.
I wanted to know your input on the whole mental illness thing, because I don't think there should be a leadway. I don't think there should be any leniency having to do with either one of them taking drugs on their piss poor decisions. I don't think that either. I guess I'm a hard ass.
Well, it seems like the mom. Well, yeah, I'm not a big fan of like drugs. Like we had a case a while ago that let's see, what was it? I actually helped get it moved forward. It was cool. It was like a case where the medical examiner said that the case was a suicide because the person had meth in their system, and they should have been able to grab the barrel of a gun that was pointed right in their mouth, and they should have been able to defend themselves. But you know, I mean, it was absolutely crazy. So they said they had meth, so they should have been able to protect themselves. Therefore, it's a suicide. So apparently, you're able to just inject people with meth and then blow their brains out with do whatever you want to do to them, and then the medical examiner will say, it's suicide because they should have been able to defend themselves. So I put all this stuff together in a video, and I sent it off to the prosecutor, the DJ Fickey case, and then, I don't know, a couple months later, not the prosecutor, the detective said, we've changed it to undetermined, and then just last year, they actually arrested the guy. So, you know, but it's ridiculous.
Well,
like, drugs don't have anything to do with it. It's just stupid when people use that
This
excuse.
is another thing. Why is this crazy fool with a gun anyway? You know, after he's done this and on top of taking medications and being, you know, I thought if you did the things he done, you couldn't even carry a weapon. Or if he has a mental illness we don't know about, you know, why is he carrying a weapon? And she does have bipolar. She's not supposed to be around any weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, you know, I know that if you have a mental illness, you can't be a carrier or be around any weapons. I mean, guns.
Yeah, well, maybe he doesn't.
Am I
He's
wrong?
not diagnosed with those things, so he has one. He has them. I mean, nobody checks these
Now,
things.
was
So
he
I know.
charged for that
So you might be right,
stabbing?
but who checks on these things? I mean, you think they're going to go?
I don't know,
Hey,
because
so like they're not going to go
when it comes
tell
to
her, hey, we need to check your boyfriend to see if he had a gun because you're not supposed to be. People don't look at that deep into stuff. She might not be able to own a gun. because of-
Obviously not. People don't look into a lot of things deep that I do. My thing
if
is
that's
is
even
that,
true, I don't even
you
know what
know,
you're saying is true. I'm just saying.
with him and his I ask people about themselves. I look up things. I mean, I investigate who I hang out with. I do, and I'm not offended if they do it to me. I'm trying to say there's just so many red flags here. It's going to be just very interesting how this comes out. I am so interested in this particular case because it's so full of stupid. It really is. And this poor little girl, the ball was seriously dropped on her. And there's many other children right now where the ball is being dropped on them as well. But this one, it has tons of dumb. Tons. But I enjoyed you, Gray, and I enjoyed your coverage. And you have a nice night. It was nice talking to you.
Well, you too. I'm sure some people agree with what you're saying. I'm not in the same ballpark there. All right.
Well, you know what? I'm glad there's people like you that still you want to be, you know, trustworthy when they meet their boyfriends and girlfriends and give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And this day and time, you can't be that kind.
Yeah. Guess not. I guess not. All right. Well, thank you for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. So look at that. Look at it. Even up in the poll there, the 50% say no. We have no chance of reaching the goal. So let's get started on it, you guys. You guys know what we do on this channel, and when you have 520 people watching, it should be very, very simple to do. Very simple. Shouldn't be a struggle whatsoever. Let's see. But look at that. 53% say no. Most of those are trolls. I get a lot of trolls that show up on here. Let's see. It's about how of their friends' parents or not. So looks like the answer is no. So I guess we'll just put it down and forget it. Huh? I don't know what that means, Carolyn. No idea. Thank you, Tara. What do you mean it's not letting you? What do you mean? How about a super sticker? Can you try one of those? Yeah, that counts. Thank you. Well, it's weird how some people can and some people can't. Weird. You have to be signed in. You got to make sure you're signed in for sure. So thank you very much, Kim. And also, hey, do you want a notebook, Kim? The Chloe notebook? I can put you in there. I'll just add you on there. Why not? When I sent a super chat earlier, it kicked me out of YouTube. Oh, really? Weird. Chloe is... Well, she's... I don't know, it's hard to say. She seems to be resting comfortably. We're shipping those boxes out that are right there. Trying to clear their living room. We're still trying to get everything squared away after my move out of the living room. Thanks, Sayabane. Oh, not that Amber. Oh, look at the naysayers. They might be in trouble. Who knows? We'll see. Oh, really? Huh. 3 times, huh? Maybe try signing in and back out again. I don't know. But I appreciate that, Caligal 3. Yeah, that one worked. Thank you. And you guys can put messages in the super chats. That's kind of what they're for, really. No, I think my office, well, I mean, I'm always going to be doing something. I'm putting a green screen behind me that I can pull down if I want to, so I can be anywhere. I used to have these cool little scenes that I would put myself in. So I'm going to try to do that. And hopefully tomorrow she'll feel a lot better. We'll see. I mean, she seems like she feels better. I mean, she gets up and, you know, twirls around and stuff sometimes. I don't know where Blue is. Maybe he's eating. Hey, look at that. It worked, Caligal 3. See, that's weird how YouTube does that sometimes. If you're not signed in correctly. Well, thank you. And let's see. Let's see where we're going to be at here in a second. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, I understand we're in this weird society right now. Like if you're dating somebody, I think people should look a little deeper into the people they're dating, though, on their own. Like, literally, I know it sounds weird, but, you know, like, look them up somehow and try to figure out who the hell these people, you know, like, if you're meeting somebody and you really like them, it's like, well, I'm a genius, yes. I had this one comedian, he was really funny. His first joke, his name is, I'll tell you a second. His name was Floyd J. Phillips. And he would say, "My name is Floyd J. Phillips. The J stands for genius. I know, we can't all be one." That's his first joke. It's pretty good right out of the gate, right? The J stands for genius. Come on, you gotta admit, that's pretty good. Let's see. My name is Floyd J. Phillips. The J stands for genius. Look at Chloe. She's not even giving Blue any... see, that's weird. She obviously doesn't feel that good. Normally when Blue comes over, she'll look at him or something. So thank you up there to Tara from Jury Duty Case. In honor of victims from... What jury? You were on jury duty? Caligal 3, Nicole B. DB became a freak. Eliza Jimenez. Caligal 3. Debbie 1220. Not that Amber. Siabane. Ann Maida, as in Anna Maida. Tara and Eliza Jimenez again, and then Tara up there. All right. So where are we at now? We're probably... Oh, look at that. We're made it around the corner. We only got 47 something to go. Yeah, she just doesn't look like she feels that great. But they did a bunch of blood tests and everything. She seems normal. No, he said J stands for genius, and then he says, I know. After everybody laughs, he goes, I know, we can't all be one. You know, as if he didn't realize. I've never been single for 4 years, and only... I've been single for 4 years, and only brought one guy around my son. Yeah, that's kind of like my mom. Like, when she dated, when she was raising 3 kids by herself. I don't know, in those 5 years, we might have met one guy that came over one time. I mean, she hardly ever even dated, really. I mean, it was... she put us first. Yeah, let me go check. You guys hold on a second. But we got to get more callers if you want to call in. Let me get the phone number up on the screen. But I'm not... Well, I'll put it on when I get back. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, well, I mean, she's okay. She's just, I mean, she ate food, and I just saw some of her poop, and it was brown, you know, kind of small brown poop. I just wonder if, like, her stomach's, she's just, you know, it's better than it was. It's not liquid or anything anymore like it was, all right? All right, let's get the numbers up on the screen again. You know, so the thing is over here, we lost like 70 people because, oh, he went over to go visit his dog for a minute, and we had to listen to some weird ooh-la-la music. Okay? But the thing is we're just like the freak family over here. I've been doing shows for 4 years, 5 years live. God, no, I think I'm miscounting. I've been doing live shows for 6 years, and we've just all been going through all this at the same time. I've been doing shows every single day for a long time, and if it's something you don't like, you're not interested in the way we do stuff, then you don't have to be here, okay? It's no big deal, all right? We don't need a goodbye post. We don't need any, God, Gray, I liked your show, but when you said... Okay, bye, all right? That's fine. It's no big deal. Don't those people always... Hold on a second. Hello. 612.
Hi, Gray. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, what's going on?
Am I too loud?
Nope, not yet. What's going on?
What I want to talk about is James alias Santa.
The what?
His son, James, he has an alias Santa. He lives down the road.
Yeah, we're not going to do. We're not going to. Let me say something. I'm not going to do that guy that took his own life and pedophile down the street.
Okay.
I'm not going to do this theory that one idiot YouTuber. Basically, anything that one YouTuber puts out is very, extremely unlikely never to be true. This case, it's possible, I guess, that you're talking about the pedophile that the FBI went and busted, right?
Yeah, I was just curious, but we'll move on. I also wanted to psychologically, when Maddie wrote on her text about wanting to go live out in the woods after she turned 13, it's so ironic that this pedo dumped her in the woods. Was he using that for maybe an alibi?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about the other day on the show.
Accuse her of aliving herself?
What was that last word you said? She what?
Do you think he could have thought in his mind he could use that as an alibi and accuse her of unaliving herself?
I don't know what that means. What's unaliving? What is that?
Suicide?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, we did come up with that theory the other day. It's like, did he want it to make it look like that she went into the woods, and then if that's true, is that a text message that, or a string of text messages that they created or he created to make it look like that she wanted to go in the woods, and then you put her in the woods, etc., right?
Awful suspicious.
Yeah, it is kind of strange, but I mean, woods are a pretty common place for people. The funny thing is he didn't really put her in the woods, though. He put her in a string of bushes, or like a hedges almost, on the side of a road, which was like a quarter mile from any wooded area.
I saw your Vision serial on it. It was very good. Thank you.
Oh, do you like that? Do you like that video where I showed where the crime scene was?
It was very good. It was very good.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
It was excellent.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
And that first part, here's what I'll say about what you're talking about. This guy, there's like a Santa Claus guy. Apparently, I don't know what the reference. I remember I read about it earlier, but it's he's down the road. So I guess it's the timing of the FBI going in there. Is it possible that the investigation into Sterns somehow led to a place right there. I mean, I guess it's possible, you know. It's just these kind of things aren't. It's reminds me of the Idaho 4 case with the Brent Kopacka situation where people go, oh my God, this other guy, he got shot by the FBI. So what they're really doing is they're covering up the murder of Brent Kopacka and saying it was he's the one that did it, but they're blaming it on Kohberger to take it away from Brent Kopacka, who was actually an informant for the FBI or the CIA or whatever the hell it was. You know, it's just crazy. So you know, it makes more entertaining YouTube, but we don't have any information right now that connects the two other than the timing of like what happened at that house. I guess the guy, one of them killed themselves or something, right?
Yes, I was thinking maybe perhaps they were exchanging videos and pictures with each other or something on that order.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a possibility, because I mean, you know, it's a possibility. I have to say it is possible, because these pedophiles like to trade their information using Dropbox accounts and other, you know, forms of transferring data. And you know, he was doing that, it looks like, because remember I told you guys that I have this guy that was able to use his phone and found out that he had connections to a social media account that's used by pedophiles, and he was on that account at 4:50 in the morning on the day that she was when she died, the same day she died, the day after her birthday party. So it was in the morning, so like couple hours, an hour and a half before he was throwing stuff into, or maybe 2.5 hours before he was throwing stuff into the garbage can. He's out there using this account. I mean, that's pretty crazy, right? So who knows, you know?
Yeah. I can't believe that the mother didn't pick up on something. I mean, they were together off and on for, I think, 7 years. No wife or mother or girlfriend doesn't observe something is wrong, something's off here, unless they want to go along with it because they feel so insecure that they'll take the boyfriend or the husband before the child. It's just a disgrace. It's so damn evil.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In my opinion.
All right. Well, I don't know. I'm
Thank you.
Leaning in that direction, that maybe, you know, like I'm sort of just like barely there. Like she might know a little bit more, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything that's a smoking gun that says, you know, the 8 o'clock in the morning, like I've said, when she says she saw her daughter getting ready at 8 in the morning, is the only real statement that kind of puts her in a different place now. And if if they come out
and she was found with blue jeans.
but that has nothing to do with anything. So when they came forward later and they said, see, you threw me off my train of thought when you just interrupted me there. I was saying, what was it? Hold on a second.
I apologize.
No, hold on. It was the what I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about now. Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, thanks, Nikki Zubs. So let's see. It was the part about her saying, at 8 in the morning when she saw, she said she saw her getting ready. She didn't say, she was getting ready and she had these clothing on. She's saying the clothing she's saying is what he likely told her. However, I'm going to tell you, if law enforcement comes back and says that that Madeline died at like 4 in the morning based on the food content in her stomach, something like that, then what she said at 8 in the morning, or even if it was like 7 or 6, is total bogus. That means that part of the story is her trying to convince people that she was still alive when Stephan took her to school. But if it turns out that she died much earlier in the morning, like 5 in the morning or something, then that means she absolutely was aware and part of the story-making cover-up of the case. And that's kind of where I'm at right there.
All right. Well, thank you for taking my call. Very good show.
Well, thank you. All right. Have a good one.
You're welcome. Good night.
Bye. Yeah, no, I got confused because I had to think about what she said, and I didn't remember the next thread that I was going to get on. But then I got back and remembered. It was I needed to say that if they said, grifters, what? Who's this daydream ride person? Thank you, grifters. Who are you talking to? Thank you, Nikki Zoob's having a little girl I'm terrified to date. From personal experience, I have trouble trusting anyone, but don't want to be completely closed off to it. It's tough. Yeah, I think it's tough. Yeah. Yeah, definitely tough. It sucks because there's so many predators out there, but as a percentage of normal guys, it's really small number. Maybe she meant gifters. I don't know. I don't know what that person meant up there. But yeah, that was a little bit of a senior moment there, Miss Ladybug. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I think there's way more good people, men, than there are bad ones. Although the crop that is being produced now, growing up, are going to all be weak, sort of, just ridiculously minded people, unless you've taught them differently. Because the stuff that the schools teach kids nowadays is just, it's hideous, okay? Oh, jeez. Looks like we got to troll Miss Ladybug now. Let's see. We can't do background checks here. Really? Okay. There are a lot of good amounts. Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's just hard to know. I mean, how do you get to, at least look them up on social media, see what they're interested in. Try to, get information from, if you can find somebody else, or, I don't know. It's kind of dumb to ask somebody else somebody dated, because, sometimes when you date somebody, when you break up, it doesn't end well. So they'll probably say, whatever, right? I mean, you don't know what they're gonna. There are a lot of good men out there, in my opinion. Summer holidays were my favorite time with the girls. Alright, let's see. So, he just not dating. Well, who's calling in next? Who's got the comments? And right now we are 32 something short. And let's see. Maybe tonight I'll do one. If you get to the goal, I'll give 5 memberships away. How about that? Again, I gave 5 memberships earlier on the 2-hour premiere video of all the interviews. So if we get to that, then I'll give 5 more out. And if any of you other freaks want to gift some memberships, we've only got 1 membership tonight. That'd be great. Why do trolls show up in these things? I don't know, Carolyn. I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to tell you what I'm using. Why does it matter what app I'm using? I have 2 daughters that are adults now. Always protective of them when they were... Oh, look at that. Plato's in there. Actually, it wasn't... what did I say we were at? Yeah, so we were at... I guess it's only 22 left after that. 23. I didn't find love because I put my daughter first, but that's just me. Yeah, well, some people do that, yeah. My mom waited, you know, like we were, I think when she finally met our dad now, we were like 13, 15, and 11. And he had a 15-year-old, basically my age, you know. And they've been married for the last, well, I guess it'll be 50 years in 2027. That's crazy. Hey, look at that. Mary Antoinette gifted a membership, and so did Tawny Lee. So who got them? We got Tara and Daydream Ride. I mean, does it bother you guys that I'm not like just so gun ho, excuse me, Jesus, going after the mom like every second, like just like, oh yeah, ooh, yeah, the mom, she's got, because it's like it's almost like people are bored. You already got the guy, right? The guy that's really the monster driving around doing all these different things, and he has video of her. And so people get bored, so then they want another person to be able to go after. Now, I think that it wouldn't shock me at all if she has a greater role or something like that. But we don't have anything like that yet. She hasn't been arrested. She hasn't been charged. We don't have a probable cause. Now, once we get something like that, then I'm all in on reading that and putting the blame exactly where it needs to be. But there isn't anything out there that directly, at this point, says anything. Like I said before, the 8 o'clock in the morning is the closest thing we have to that. And then if it gets to the point where they say that she was still alive, or that she died at like 3 or 4 in the morning, then she's in trouble, because that means that's a false statement that she saw her getting ready. And it's a false statement that she is saying. The other false statements are just her repeating what Stephan would have told her, right? So the 8 o'clock in the morning is her own statement, her own vision, her own sights and experience. And if that turns out to be a lie, well, then there's some problems there. And that's really where I'm at right this moment. Well, we don't know anything, Zozo, because they didn't say anything. And if she was in the video, she would have been arrested, don't you think? They've already arrested him for charges. If she was in the video, she would have been arrested, right? Because he was arrested for those same 2 charges. Well, what if you just can't see her face? Well, then how can you prove that's her? Well, wouldn't they have said she was in the videos? Oh, I see. Both could have been drug. Okay. Well, some people are claiming that they want to make it so that to add her into the case, because she kept saying we, that she was actually the person seen on the church camera. Right? They want her to be the person that was seen on the church camera because she was part of this plot, knowing that there was a camera that was going to pick something up, and then it would look like it was actually Madeline, but she wasn't even alive at the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the we thing, it hasn't bothered me either. Just because I think a lot of times people say we, like your family unit. But, the caller yesterday said, well, nobody says, I don't know. I can't remember what they said. It made sense. It was something about we. You never say we. I can't remember the exact. You guys remember the scenario that they used? Hey, thanks, Jessica Schubach. I think that was like 2 days ago. I don't remember the damn exact phrase, but I don't know. Some people use we a lot, and some people don't. We are, after that, we are 13 short, Jessica. 13 short after that. Thank you. Welcome, Kathy Perez. Hello, who am I speaking? Who is this? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you got to turn down the audio in the background whenever you call in a call show.
Turn off.
Oh my God, Alexa, turn off. What if your name was Alexa? Like, here's the thing, everybody. If you're out there and you have a child named Alexa, you cannot buy the Amazon product, right? Amazon, clean up your room. We can't clean my,
Is this Gray?
This is Gray, yep.
Oh, but are you live? Because I'm on your live video, but it shows you're talking.
Yeah, I am talking. You're behind. That's why you got to turn off the audio. You got to turn off. Don't watch the show. Don't do anything. Just turn off everything but the phone that you're on, okay? Because when you call shows, the audio from the show is behind by like 8 seconds, and it just isn't going to work. All right?
Oh, I gotcha. So I'll hear myself later on.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. What are random case discussion?
Yeah, well, anything, I mean, it has to be one that we've talked about on the show, not some random one that you're following,
Right. So has there been any I've seen a lot of comments where people are seeing new reports come in from the whole Madeline Soto case, but I'm wondering, where are they getting these reports from?
What did you say? There's new reports coming out, or what?
Yeah, I follow a few different channels, and there's been new reports coming out from the Madeline Soto case, things about her mom. There's a lot of...
Oh, yeah, but you're not... I know, that's because they're just inventing stories. Like, we don't know anything about... they're not actual reports. You're believing a YouTuber. What I do on my channel is I take the actual court documents and reporting from media, and then I put it together. A lot of times people just invent something to make something more interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so when you're saying there's reports on the mother, like, what kind of reports could there be on a mother?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I do know that something is very off with that lady, and the way she described it, dropping off.
Oh. You're talking about Jen?
Yeah, Jen Soto. I'm Jen too, but I'm not. Mine's with a G.
Oh wow, like origin Jen.
Yeah, and the funny part is that her boyfriend's name, I don't know if it's Stephan or Stephen, but that's also my ex-husband's name, who actually committed the similar crimes. And I also live local. I actually used to go to Hunter's Creek Middle School and get dropped off at the church right next to it. So when I heard about this case, it really touched me to the point where I wanted to go help look for her. But then it was too late.
So you're a Jen and your ex-husband's Stephan? And he did something similar?
No. Stephen, yes.
Stephen,
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I have a son in common with him that I have to forced to share custody with. After he did what he did, not to my son, but I did get custody for 6 months, and that was it. That was about the only justice I got. He's also a police officer and was a substitute teacher, but I don't know if the police are protecting him, or cops are psychopaths as well. They're just better at hiding things. So when I hear cases like this, I don't know if I should feel like happy that it didn't go as far.
Wait, what did you say? You didn't say cops are psychopaths, did you? I
did.
Yeah, well, they're not. Like maybe you knew one that was a psychopath, but cops are generally good people. I would say like 95% of them are awesome.
Oh man, I went through the police academy.
Okay. All right. See you later. All right. Who else is calling? I'm not gonna do like a cop bashing show. Is anybody else gonna call in here? What a ridiculous. I went to the police academy. Therefore, I'm a paralegal. Everybody, I've got the. Okay, you go do something else. Yeah, I'm not doing anti-cop calls. I'm not. This is go to those other channels. Are really good at that stuff. Everything's anti-cop. It's a cop. It's a cover-up. It's a this and the. It's a that. It's forget it. All right, look at that. You guys, we are 13 short, and then I'll give away 5 more memberships. Who's gonna do it? Let's see. Is it me, or has anyone else been hearing a noise that sounds like someone dribbling a ball? It could be my feet going like this. Like that. Gray with the ball, dribble down the court, 15-footer. Drills it from the right side. He buried it, 15-footer. Look, he dribbled down the court. He turns to his left, spins around in the middle, lays it in with the left hand on the right side. Yeah. Cops are people. Some people are good and some are bad. Yeah, to sit there and say cops are psychopaths. Jesus. People that think like that, they're in trouble. Those are the people that end up getting shot by police. They're the ones who raise children that are disrespectful to cops, run away, and increase the likelihood of them dying by a police officer because they don't respect anything. They're taught to think that they are just piles of crap. But in reality, they're there. We all. Here's the thing, everybody. All the time, they're out there protecting and saving people and doing great things. We only hear about the really shitty things in the media because that's what sells. MSNBC, CNN, they're only ever going to put out the times where something bad happens because they don't like cops. Okay, they're the defund the police crowd. Hey, thanks, Amanda K. Right. You call 911 every time. Who would want to live in a society where you think cops are psychopaths? Are there psychopaths that are cops? I'm sure there are some. Just like there's psychopaths that are doctors, nurses, and firemen. Isn't that weird? Because there's psychopaths everywhere. All right. God, man, who the hell would want to live in a world where you're, man, cops suck. They're psychopaths. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to tell everyone I know that, too. Disturbing. All right, look at that, you guys. We are now only 8 short. The Purge movies would become reality everywhere. Every day, yeah. Man, how does somebody, I hope you guys respect that opinion to not keep listening to somebody who said that cops are psychopaths. Now, you might be somebody that doesn't like cops, but you got to admit that's a ludicrous statement. And I don't respect people who say, I don't like cops, okay? Because they are out there doing... I've dealt with some really, arrogant, shitty cops in my life. But, man, I'm so glad that the ones that are out there, I just wish they didn't have one hand tied behind their back most of the time. Yep. There are psychos in all walks of... Yeah, of course there are. Yeah. It's just... Do people think society... I actually looked up a whole bunch of the documents, the newspaper articles. Remember that case I was telling... We were just talking about earlier today, actually. That show, the documentary called Abducted in Plain Sight. Look at this. Look at this right here. Those are like all these newspaper.com files that I found. And what's interesting is this girl This girl here, Jan Broberg, she was like famous in Pocatello, Idaho. I'm sort of wondering if this is how she became sort of a target by somebody. I mean, she was in play after play, getting great reviews, doing. I mean, it's really sort of startling how many. I mean, she's in tons of them. I mean, you get like, here's another one. That was 1971. I think that might be her right there. Jan Broberg and Mrs. Elaine Hoffman. Maybe that's her right there. I don't know, but they're in these plays together, and it just goes on and on and on. And then she gets abducted at some point, and so I have all these different newspaper articles there. Hey, no, I'm not gross. I think you're a pile of crap, though, and your name fits you exactly. Look in the mirror. All right. Where do these people come from? I'm rude because I hung up on some moron who said that cops are psychopaths. Sorry, everybody. I apologize. Mm-hmm. I always blame the CPS system. They're understaffed and underfunded. You guys, we're still not at the goal yet, so don't make the poll correct. We are $7.16 short. Yeah, I just hung up the phone. It doesn't make me rude. It makes the person who said that an absolute moron. Okay, I don't care what life experiences they've had or anything like that. Anybody who thinks like that is going to raise children and are around other people who are absolutely disrespectful to cops and increase the likelihood. You know, you never hear people like LeBron James say something like, listen, everybody, when a cop tells you to stand still, do not run. He just gets mad after as soon as you run from a police officer, your odds of something bad happening to you goes way up. Hey, listen, Gross, I know exactly what goes on. I mean, I don't know everything that goes on. I can't say that, but I think you're nuts. Okay. You're one of the people that's into defunding the police. We should have a crazy society of wackos running around. Not doing it. I think you're an embarrassment, and you probably teach your kids and every one of your friends to hate the cops and not to trust them or anything. Hey, look at that. We have Engine HB and Lisa Valenzuela knocking us out of the park finally, and we're going to watch G Ross get one of the free memberships here. I sure as hell hope not. Where's the I have to go out to the crap. Have to go out to the actual show to do it.
If you paid more than $15 on tax prep.
I'm not stuck on it. I just listened to what you said. You're the one that brought it up. It was ludicrous. As soon as you said that, your credibility got, went out the window. You sound like one of those people that goes, I was a paralegal, therefore I'm an expert on all things criminal. All right, here we go. And here's 5. Here we go. Here's 5. Ding, 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 ding. Who's going to get the free memberships? Who's going to get the free memberships? We got Lisa Outlaw, Red Bums, Brad Lucas, Lynn, Ska, and Kelly M. Thank God, no G. Ross. Boy, what? That's not even a diss. Look at that, Zozo. Zozo, go Zozo your way out. That's funny. Leave that one up there. That doesn't even mean anything. Oh my God, that's hilarious. What a lame ass comeback, man. You got to work on something. Holy crap, man. That's just. My daddy's meaner than yours. He could beat up your daddy. 5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working. Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
You know, that's just one step above stupid.
That's ridiculous. Who gives so go Zozo your way out? Ah, man, that is ridiculous. All right, who's calling in? Yeah, we got 5 more memberships out there. So tonight we have a total of, I think, 8, right? 9 members. Nice. Right, they always call 911 whenever they have a problem. So who's this? Somebody check out that Hughes channel there and see when they were created. All right. I mean, they're laughing with everybody else, but I mean, what are the odds? You know, come on. My response didn't get accepted by YouTube. But there's nothing really to say, Zozo. It's like saying, hey, Gray, why don't you Gray out of here? Hey, Misha, why don't you just get the Misha out of here? What? Lillian, I'm going to Lillian the hell out of you next time. Oh. Hello.
Hey, Gray, it's Sully.
Sully, what's going on?
I just thought I'd give you a call.
All right, nice.
I wanted to make a comment on the mother. I think she's, I think she's innocent. I think she has anything to do with it.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me either way in this one.
Yeah, I think he drugged
Madeline.
He drugged them both that night and spent the night with Madeline.
And maybe that's why she felt so tired in the morning. The mom.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think she was awake at all, actually, when he left.
Mm-hmm.
I think he came up with that story after she went missing. When Jen found out she was missing, I think he went crying to her, saying, "Oh, I took her to school, and now everybody's going to blame me. You got to stick up for me." Some bull like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because to me, I look at the mother, and I don't see I see her being innocent, but
well, what's interesting is I brought it up the other day is police even said that. They said it was kind of early on, but they said when she was told, she acted just like any other mother would, hearing the same thing. So
yeah,
she was probably. Yeah. And then they said they don't consider her a suspect at this time. So that means even a couple days in, 3 days in, they didn't think anything. But maybe the investigations led to something else. But that's why I'm saying I don't have anything to go, oh my God, she's 100% guilty of something. Now,
right.
I want to know this. If what you just said is true, that she was drugged also and didn't realize it, and they were able to determine that in the investigation, would all the people that just keep blaming her feel bad? Because the thing is, that's what I always wonder about. Do they feel bad, or do they just kind of because we don't know at this point. Now, I'm saying, if it went either way, I'd be like, I wouldn't be shocked because of, the 8 o'clock in the morning comment bugs me a little bit. If it turns out, only really if it turns out that they were able to determine that she died at like 4 in the morning, then that 8 o'clock in the morning is something that she herself invented. Or, I guess he could be doing what she told him to say, but at that point, she knows she's lying, where before she could just be repeating the information that he told her to say, right? Or that, not to say, he just said, hey, this is what happened, and then she's repeating that. That's why it sounds the same, the stories, right?
Yeah, but maybe she believed it, It's like,
right,
hey,
yeah.
I gave her to school, I dropped her off, and now she's missing. The police are going to blame me. You got to stick up for me,
Right, yeah,
and,
exactly. I think that's what he
maybe
said.
She won't do that,
Yeah, he made her feel like, hey, this is what happened. You need to repeat the story that I said. And he probably was a little bit bummed when she didn't stick with the we part.
Yeah.
Or like when she was saying we, and then she well down, but he's the one that took her. That was almost like her subliminally saying that. He's the one.
I think her interview there, where people have different opinions on it. My opinion was, here's a woman that is scared that her daughter has been abducted, and if what I'm saying is true, she probably had just woken up from a bad day, drugged all night and sleeping a lot during the day, and then finding out that her daughter's missing. And then when they interview her, she's in shock. He's definitely full of crap, or he's hiding. He's the one that's hiding the stuff, I don't know. I just don't see her, being. She looks kind of like a mom that's proud of her daughter at times. Anyway, but we don't have that much to go on. At least I don't. I watch what I can.
Yeah, there isn't enough to go on to say that she's 100% involved.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think the autopsy reminds me of the Kansas City Chiefs fans, they're that died from a drug overdose, So I think you're right when you were saying, if it was more obvious stuff, he would have been arrested by now or charged or whatever. He's been arrested, but he would have been charged with murder. But if it's a drug overdose, they're still working on the...
That's exactly right. That's what I've been saying. It seems to me like when they found her, if there was something obvious, like strangulation marks, there'd probably be a little quicker, getting to somebody being charged with murder. But it feels like they're trying to figure out how she actually died and when she died and how it all came about, doesn't it? And they're waiting for toxicology, perhaps, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
I think exactly. They're waiting for toxicology, or they've got it and they're doing further investigation. They're questioning him some more if he'll talk, and her too. But I think she'll have to turn against them and tell what really happened. I think she started out believing she was helping him and telling a white lie, thinking that how could this man...
Well, which part was the white lie? I mean, so now that you're saying that, she'll have to tell the truth now. That means you're saying that she intentionally covered up for him. For what part of the story?
When she first found out that her daughter was missing, I'm sure he was right there, and he probably cried to her and said, "Yeah, I dropped her off at the church. No one's going to believe me. No one's going to believe me. I need your help. I need your help.
Just like that
And-
caller earlier, right? Saying weird stuff happens when a man and a girl, and then people start accusing somebody. So maybe he felt like that, and he was like, hey, you know, I mean, obviously he did something, but it's possible he was just thinking like that. Like if you were a woman, you might think, oh, I get it. She went missing and you're the one that dropped him off, so they're probably going to blame you, but I trust you. So he tells her the story, right? And so he plays on that sort of angle. I get that. That totally makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and I think she is going to have to try to remember stuff. I think he drugged them both just so he could spend the night with her. And she died during the night, and he panicked, and whether he even talked to her in the morning, I don't know. Maybe that's why he went back to talk to her, you know, tell her that he's going to school or whatever.
Well, why did she say that she like sent him over to pick up her daughter? That's the part that's been confusing to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't he have been there in the house with them? Because that's the only place he doesn't have another place there. So where would he have been to need to be called to go pick up Madeline? In that story.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's kind of confusing.
That, yeah.
All kinds of weirdness in this one, right? It's a puzzle wrapped in an enigma.
Definitely weird.
Yeah.
But I'm going to cut her some slack until I get more info, because I feel bad for her too. I do. I mean, she looks like a pleasant woman. She wasn't, but she definitely told some untruths.
All right, but did she tell any untruths that she knows is untrue so far? Is there anything that we can prove?
But because she thinks she's helping out someone that couldn't possibly have killed her daughter.
Okay, but what's the untruth, though, that she's said so far that you can prove is untrue?
What's that?
I mean, even if he said, I dropped her off, that's the story, right? So what is the untruth that she's saying that you think that she might...
that I went with him, or we dropped her off.
But almost immediately she said he dropped him off. Almost immediately. Like she said that twice and then immediately switched to he dropped him off.
Yeah.
So...
that part, I mean, it was always a little vague there. How many times do you have to listen to that before you really get it, you know?
Yeah, you know what's interesting? It could be that he wanted her to say, we dropped her off. Can you say we were together? Because if it was me, it's going to make me look really bad. Can you say we were together? And then she said we a couple times, and then she...
That's what he was doing.
And then
He's a manipulator. He's
right.
a rat.
And then she accidentally told the truth in that part, where she said, well, he dropped her off, but, you know. And then he was probably like, oh, shit, in the background. We don't see his face in that one. But, man, wouldn't it be great to see his face back there, because it's just off the screen.
She's shaking and all that during the interview. I thought to myself, wow, she's probably thinking he did it, you know.
But that's the one where she actually consoled him. That's their first interview. So I think she was tripping out, because that was their first one. The second one's the one where she's a hell of a lot more mellow, and he comes in and sits on that stool in the background.
Yeah, he's got to get close to her, because he's going to be far away from her forever.
Well, he also needs to be close to her to make sure he can jump in and, I mean, you know, like interrupt something that isn't quite working, you know.
Yeah, tell her, you know, reinvent the story.
I can't remember what case it was, but there was this one case where this husband and wife were sitting there, and this guy had killed the kid, and the police just, the whole time he was talking, they basically just arrested him right off the stage there. I mean, it was just so ridiculous. He even kept saying, no, you were, you know, he kept trying to change her story and stuff on the screen. I wish I remember that one, but it's just such a quintessential, ridiculous moment on camera where the killer young dad and then this wife are up there, and he's just making up stories even there, and you can see the look on the detective's face, so he's just kind of Just going, oh God, oh jeez. And like, I think he got arrested for the murder almost immediately after that. But,
well, you're a rat in a trap, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't very good. So what they did in this one, or what Stephan did, is he just cried the whole time. So it made it look like he. I mean, he might have actually been sad that he killed somebody or that she's dead. I mean, here's the thing we don't know is we don't know for certain if, like, you know, so let's say he did drug both of them. It's possible at this point that she died unintentionally, like she died, but it's still his fault, and now they're like, he's in cover-up mode. How do I cover this up? And, you know, he says that he took her to school in the morning, and so he says, you need to say that you wanted me to pick her up. I don't know. The whole thing is it's pretty wild, but it's possible she just died of a drug overdose, and everybody goes, I can't believe you're victim blaming when you say that. Is this if I'm claiming that she's sitting around with a big-ass needle and she's jamming it in her arm or something. And nobody said that. What we're saying is he drugged her and she died of an overdose from what he did, which is still a homicide of some sort.
Yeah.
And I think it would be felony murder if he sexually assaulted her during that, because in the commission of a felony, a death occurred, and it would be felony murder. Right? What do you think? So regardless, he's in trouble.
Yeah. A minor, drugs involved, possibly, you know, an assault, or, you know, who knows. But I think his plan was to spend her birthday night with her, drug the mother so she's not she's out of it. He's got her all to herself all night long. Don't know if he gave her more drugs.
But you think he's assaulting her, right? Like, and he took video of it. So here's the thing, that right there is a felony, and she ends up dying in the commission of that felony if she got a drug overdose because the drug he gave her ended up killing her. So that would make it felony murder. So he knows that. So if that is the case, because doesn't it feel more like a panicked cover-up a little bit, the way, he threw stuff into, at 7:30, he's putting a backpack and a laptop and a garbage can in his own complex. And then he's driving around, and then he comes back with her dead in the car. I mean, it just sounds ridiculous almost.
Who knows, he might have woken up early next to her in bed, and she's dead. And that started the whole thing going.
Right, and then maybe he gets her out of the house and then says, no, I took her to school. You know, but then the mom's lying when she says she saw her at 8. See, there you go.
The mom probably was asleep anyway.
Right.
Probably.
But if she says she saw her at 8, that's a lie directly out of her mouth.
He has to make sure she says that kind of stuff when the cops talk.
No, I agree with that, but that means at that moment, that's the first time we can say that she would verifiably be lying on his behalf. The other ones could just be she believes the story that he told. Right?
She believes the story, but she's lying about her being this to get as an alibi witness, you know. Oh yeah, we dropped her off. Whether she deviated from that plan during the conference, another thing. But his intention was to school her, and don't worry, we'll find her. But don't, you know, I dropped her off. It'd be something like that. You know,
but all that stuff, though, like all this stuff.
There, you're gonna say you were there, or they're gonna be on me, and I had nothing to do with it.
No, I get that. I get that part, but the we were there together. That's a rational. It makes sense. Like, okay, let's say we're together because I don't want it all pinned that I was by myself, and it might look like bad, right? So that's a white lie. The 8 o'clock sighting is a lie that she knows is intentionally put in to change a timeline, and it's a much more significant lie if she intentionally lied about that. Don't you agree? Because the other one is just like, Can we just say we're together? Because she trusts him that she really did drop her off, but she just wants to make it look better. The 8 o'clock in the morning one is much deeper at that point. You're changing elements of the case that are significant. Yeah.
She's telling all these lies at the same time, though, right? She's not telling the 8 o'clock lie at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, the 8 o'clock she told on the original narrative, she said to the police that she was at 8 in the morning. She saw her getting ready, but on both the interviews, before and I think she was interviewed before these 2 interviews, that she doesn't even remember saying that part of the story. I think that's crazy. I mean, why wouldn't you? She was asked, when was the last time you saw her? Well, I put her to bed. She said how great the presents were, and that's about it. Wouldn't you remember that you saw her at 8 in the morning, just like you told the cops in the first interview they gave you? Yeah.
Yeah, she was drugged.
And so she's just saying that. Yeah. Okay.
She was drugged, and she was coming out of the drugs when he's filling her with these stories that she's got to tell to help keep him from being a suspect. I guess she doesn't think he's a suspect. I mean, or didn't think he's a suspect, but she probably does now.
Well, I remember when I heard the 8 o'clock thing, right when I heard that, I thought that's the main significant statement that she's made that could end up being a huge issue for her. The rest of them, when she said we, but then she did switch it, so you can't really nail her on that one because she did say it was just him. So that's the one that if somehow they can prove that that's a lie, then we know that she was covering up for him, specifically changing the timeline of events, and that's a big deal. But she could have. I mean, that's a different level now, because the other one is just, hey, this is what happened. You believe me, right? You believe me? And she's just sort of helping out a little bit. Yeah, we dropped her off, and he did this and that, and just kind of repeating what he told her. But the 8 o'clock one means that later on, like almost like, okay, listen, you need to say that you saw her at 8, okay? Because maybe he knows that his car is seen on camera at a different time, but he had to make sure she said that.
Yeah, but that's him manipulating her.
Right. Yeah.
But
at that point, though, she knows it's deeper. The other lie kind of makes sense because he's innocent, but man, it does look bad. Having her say that she sees him, her at 8 in the morning, having her say that that's outside of that level. Do you get that part? It's different. It's a higher. Yeah.
But I think he's the master manipulator here. He is.
Yeah.
I don't think he says any of that stuff without him putting it in her ear, and if she really believes that he's innocent, she doesn't see it as much of a lie. I can say that. Yeah,
not the 8 o'clock one. The 8 o'clock one, you'd know something was up. If you said, "Hey, you need to say that you saw her around 8," that would be something any mom would go, Nah, that's a level. That's why I'm saying that's different. That's not like saying we dropped her off and can you repeat this story? Because I don't know if she wouldn't believe him anymore after he would say, "Tell people you saw her at 8." I mean, why would he need her to say that? What would be the point of that? Verify she's alive before I took her to school. That's what you're wanting her to do, right?
Yeah, he slept with her. She's dead, and he's getting his alibi, his ducks in a line. Tell her, say that you saw her at 8 in the morning. At 8 in the morning, I bet you she's still knocked out because I think he drugged her heavily.
Yeah, and it's like he probably said something like this. Listen, people will think bad of you if you weren't up when your daughter was getting ready for school. So make sure to know that, let him know that you were up too and everything like that. Because I know we partied. He might have actually intentionally partied with her and gave her a little too much. So she's willing to accept some blame for taking the drugs,
Yeah.
but she just didn't wake up in time to see her daughter off to school, and that would look really bad too. So he says, yeah, you got to say that you saw her getting ready because you should have been up. I was the one that had to take her. I don't want to be the only one being blamed here. So you got to say that you were up and you saw her getting ready and wished us off to school. Something like that, right? That's kind of the manipulation thing that he might try.
He goes and gets rid of her body and comes back, and that's when the real stuff goes down, when they discover that she's missing from school. That's when the real planning hits the pavement.
Yep.
She's missing, and he has to pretend that he's surprised she's missing because I dropped her off where she wanted to be. They're going to blame this all on me. I need you to stick by me. And, she seems naive enough. She's naive enough to let this guy have doesn't know what's going on, and he's molesting her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I don't think she would have stood for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's weird. I when I have these kind of conversations like this, I'm kind of more back where I was before the 8 o'clock comment, where I'm just thinking, man, I don't see anything. But the 8 o'clock comment, like I said before, if it turns out that they can verify she died much earlier, then she is much more part of the cover-up, intentionally covering something up, instead of just kind of helping out a story so that your boyfriend or whatever doesn't look bad, something like that, like you were originally saying. Yeah, I think it gets to a higher level at that point. That means you're aware that there's a timing issue. But if you sold it the way I just said it a minute ago, that, hey, you should have been up, but you don't want people to know that you were, on drugs last night, do you? So just tell them that you saw her getting ready in the morning. And so she's probably like, yeah, I saw her getting ready, yeah. Something like that.
He needs
manipulate
her as an alibi. He needed her for his alibi. Without her, he can't say I took her to school. So selling her that we took her to school, and you saw her get dressed when she was knocked out probably in the bedroom for another couple hours.
Yeah,
I bet you up till 10 o'clock, because I think he drugged her heavily so he could have his way with her. And it's sometime during the night she died.
And how she died, we don't know yet, but it's possible she died from. It looks more possible she died of some other reason than strangulation or something. However, it's also possible that if she was strangled, they just can't determine who. Just for, he is driving around, but how do you determine who strangled her? See, that might be where they're at right now. It's like, even though they don't think the mom did it, you would think like, okay, how do we prove that he's the one that did that? They were both there.
Well, I think if it was strangulation, maybe they'd bring them both in arrest.
Well, no, but they haven't made any arrests on that yet. Though that's the thing. They've only arrested him on the sexual charges for his phone having the CSAM material of all the incidents with her. That's the only thing he's in there for now. There's no murder charges, nothing currently. So we're just still waiting for that. So that's the whole point about the, at the crime scene, were they able to determine how she died readily, or are they waiting for toxicology because they can't figure it out?
Well, that toxicology from the Kansas City fans, that took a long time. So is this. You know what I mean? The guys that froze outside, their toxicology took a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, toxicology does take a while for some reason, but it seems like you should be able to rush something. It's just weird how, well, toxicology could take up to 6 weeks. Really? I mean, come on, let's get moving.
Yeah, got to change.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, you got anything else to add, or? I thought it was interesting.
There was one thing. Huh? There was one thing. Oh, crap. Give me another 20 seconds here. It had something. I think it was. I think it was the Kohberger case. Oh, hey. So Dylan sees Kohberger, right?
Let's see. Yeah. Bushy eyebrows. Yeah.
And, yeah. Never hear anything about an artist conception, you know?
Well, they might be doing stuff like that on the side, but, you know, I don't.
Have you heard anything about it?
What do you mean?
It seems like, all right, we got a description, and now get the artist in here. And so I often wonder, they must have an artist conception of what the killer looked like from Dylan's providing them.
Yeah, maybe. We don't have it, but I mean, that's the least important element.
Never released anything, but it.
Right, but I know we're not going to see it, but it's like the least important element. We already know Kohberger was in the house because his DNA is on the knife sheath and his car was driving around outside.
But it only makes common sense. I would say that they have a sketch somewhere.
We're not going to get to see it because they already know they already got the guy arrested, so we're not going to look at it.
Yeah, but if there ever is a trial, we might get to see it.
Yeah.
But
be interesting to see how close it was. I made a rendering myself. I took Kohberger's face, put a black face mask on him, and had him standing right outside Dylan Mortensen's room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the hallway. It looked pretty weird, you know.
Ron, I'm at work, and sometimes I listen to you at work, and sometimes I listen on the way home. But when I get home, I have to get something to eat, and then turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been listening to you that long, maybe 4 or 5 months.
Well,
on and off.
Better than nothing, right?
It's a great show. It's awesome.
Well, thank you.
You put a lot. I don't know. There's not anybody that puts the work in that you do.
Well, thank
you.
Not
that I'm aware.
Yeah, I mean, most people, like tonight, sometimes on a weekend, we'll just do a show where we do call-ins or something. But most of the time, I try to put stuff together. And, you know, lately I've been making videos, which takes a lot of time. And then the shows is really kind of talking about what was discovered in the videos or related to that. But those videos take a long time to put together.
Yeah, the driving around and the
Kohberger case.
Idaho case. Yeah. That was great. Yeah.
I'm probably going to go there again at some point. I'm gonna drive the other direction because I think the looping I have backwards now. Just the same loop, but the other direction because of the audio. I have to study that myself, but
even that's great.
Yeah,
that's great time, and then splicing in the car coming around the back side of those buildings, and then I figure that he passes 1112 King Road
like 5 times or something.
Well, yeah, you
maybe
count it
6
times. When you go in once, it's once out. So every time he went in there, it counts as 2. So he's on that camera.
Like probably 10 times or 11 or something. Yeah, because let's say he comes in. Let me just do it. Like he comes in at 3:30 and then exits. That's 2. Then he comes in at 3:37 and exits. That's 4. Then he comes in at 3:56 or something like that, and he comes in and exits. That's 6. And then on the 4th time, he drives by. That's 7. But then he turns around and he drives by again, and that's 8. And then after he does the 3-point turn, it's 9. Then he goes back around, parks at 408, drives away at 420. So 10 times he drove by that house.
Yeah. He goes by that the camera we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's really clear camera too.
He goes by that camera 10 times. I think that's cool.
Yeah, well, that camera's really clear too. If we ever get to see that footage, crystal clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw something that you did on that. You showed a couple cuts on how clear it was or something.
Yeah, some still frames. That's right.
How did you get up on that porch? Or
no, I just on the street. You can see where the light is. Yeah. I don't want to go up on like a house's deck. You know, I was in a parking lot filming a camera, and this psycho came jumping out of his house and was like, "Give me your camera!" I mean, it was just weird shit. People will go, "Gray, you should have beat him up or something." It's like, why would I be punching? He never even touched me. He was just a weirdo, you know. And then he started chasing me around in his vehicle. It was really bizarre, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. I'm going to open up try to open up the line, see if anybody else wants to call in at the end of the show. But I appreciate your call. I had a lot of interesting stuff to think about.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it. I'll call again sometime.
All right, man. Have a good one.
I'll try to become a member or whatever. I haven't had time to fool around with it yet.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
All right, man.
I do. You're the first one I think I ever gave the thumbs up to. You know, the like.
I got a like from this guy. Holy crap! I thought you were gonna say I was the first one you ever sent a super chat to, but the fact that I'm the first one that you ever hit a like on—that's even better because it's like.
I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, and I never send likes out, and you were hitting up for likes, and I was like, oh, I wonder what it's like to like the thing. So I did it.
Wow, there you go. All right. Well, anyways, thanks.
All right.
Thank you very Scully, you said? Sully. Yeah, I think I've seen you in the chat or something. But.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, you're welcome. Good show.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oops. I thought he was... I thought that was pretty interesting, right? I mean, that was a good convo there. I agree with a lot of that stuff. And somebody else was calling in. Hello. Oh, there it is.
Hello, Gray. Hi, Gray.
Wait.
Carolyn. Hello. This is Sandy.
How could there be two people at the same time? What's going on? Hello?
I don't. Carolyn. Hello. Speaking.
Wait, there's two people on? I only have one person on the call, but there's
weird.
I hear two voices though.
Oh.
Are there two people sitting there with? Wait, I don't know which one is which. Why don't you both talk? What do you guys have? You just start talking. What do you got?
Hello. I just appreciate all the things that you do with the donating to the different DNA and cold cases, etc.
Yeah, I mean, the freaks are out there supporting the channel. I try to actively raise funds, get the super chats, and get to at least a goal. Some nights are way better, sometimes they're not that great, but it allows me to donate a huge portion of the income because I have an income myself. And we're already at what are we at this year? This year so far we're at $9,300. It's pretty good. We're only in March currently.
It's brilliant.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you.
Good.
Anything else?
There's one little question because I have been interested in the Kohberger case.
Oh yeah.
And I do believe he's guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But Ann Taylor, she's sort of harping at what was the actual very start of them being suspecting Kohberger as having done the deed. Was it the DNA off of the knife?
Well, you got to turn down. You have something playing in the background, right? You got to turn it down.
No, I've not got turned down.
Well, maybe it was the other person that was on there. Okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
Because there was another person on the call and their phone they was doing something. I don't know how there was another person there, though. I didn't even...
Yeah.
Oh, who knows? Anyways. Go ahead. What do you have to say about
my
antenna?
voice.
Yeah, I can hear it now. Now it's fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it the DNA on the knife sheath that pointed them towards Kohberger in the very beginning, or was there something else that brought them to thinking
Well, yeah,
about
they already had some. They were looking. There's a couple officers that were looking up different white Elantras on campuses, and two of them came up with Kohberger's name, but he wasn't the. It was just one of the people that had the vehicle, and then they took the DNA on the knife sheath and did genetic genealogy, and it led to Brian Kohberger. And so then they caught up with him in Pennsylvania, and they were able to take trash out of his father's house garbage can, and they were able to determine that the person that they got was the father of Brian Kohberger. So that was enough to get a search warrant and to get his DNA, and they took a swab of his cheek and then compared it 1-to-1 to the DNA from the knife sheath, and it was a match to like 6 quintillion, or what? Not even that, octillion. So, like it was like 6 octillion to 1 that there'd be somebody else with that same DNA. So.
Yeah, I noticed it was a lot, and I thought it'd be quite interesting to know what his actual DNA ancestry was.
Yeah, I mean,
whether whether how much European is in there and all the rest of it, to say how different his DNA seems to be a little bit unique.
Well, his DNA, I mean, it's all unique. Like somebody else might be 1 in 4, quintillion. I mean, at some point, if you say 1 in 8 billion, that's already, it's him, right? Because that means there's only 8 billion people on the planet. But they're actually using, each of the markers has a certain percentage in the population. I think especially when they use the, what do you call it, the CODIS markers in there. So each one of the markers they use has a certain percentage of the population that has a particular marker. And like, let's say it's 1 in 50 have this one. All right, then the next marker is 1 in 1,000. Now it's 1 in 50,000 but there's actually 20 markers. So then you go through all of them. Next one is 1 in 10. So now it's 1 in 500,000, and you keep going and going and going. By the time you do all, but some are more rare, right? So it might be 1 in a million have this one. So now you're multiplying 1 million times 500,000. Now you got 1 in 500 million, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you work through all 20 of the markers. So there you go.
It's all interesting stuff.
Yeah, it is cool. Well, thank you for calling in. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from the UK.
The UK? All right.
Yeah.
I could tell. But anyways.
In the Midlands.
In the Midlands? All right.
Not the posh south.
Oh, yeah? You're probably in the better part then, right? All right. So, good. All right, well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Okay then, another time then. Great, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. I don't know if didn't seem like she had much more to say. Let's see. I don't know, like, is that, at the end there, is that like, oh, you're rushing me off? I can't tell. Maybe that's just the way they talk over there. Okay, all right, maybe another time then. I just didn't have anything else to... Ding, 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 ding. All right, well, somebody was trying to call in, so if you want to call in now, that'd be great. Oh, there it is. Hold on, let me get that. Hello?
Hello, Gray.
Yeah, hello.
This is Gray.
Yeah, this is Gray. Yep. Who's this? You got to turn down the audio in the background, okay?
It's off.
Well, it's not, because I can hear myself looping through. See? See how we can hear it again?
Hmm.
Yeah, that means you're...
Let me try
Well, no,
again.
you're not... You can't be on speakerphone if that's what you're on. Turn off speakerphone.
I'm on it.
Mine?
Gray.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I had to turn it completely off. I'm on a.
Right.
Oddly enough, I'm on a. I'm on earphones. This is happening.
Okay.
So I had to turn the thing off completely.
Oh,
just,
okay.
Just the earphones. This is Sandy.
Hello, Sandy.
And Gray, I really was enjoying your conversation with Sully.
Yeah.
And it made me think about something. What about, this guy has been messing with Jen's head for years. And I wonder if he had drugged both of them, both of the women in the house,
Like
the daughter
Sully
and the
said,
mother.
yeah, like Sully said.
And he told her, "What? Well, don't you remember? You were there. You saw her around 8:00 when we were getting ready to go, when she was getting dressed. Don't you remember?"
Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. Like maybe he made her say, well, maybe not. I didn't say don't you remember. I just wanted him to say you should have been awake. But yeah, I could see that, what you're saying there.
Yeah, I understand your point of view and what you're saying, kind of shaming her. But I don't think that would have worked as well as
right.
I've known a couple of women who were abused, and their men messed with their heads for a while. And since they'd been doing it for years, they knew that the way to do it was act like she was just forgetful or she was nuts or, whatever else.
Yeah.
That would work much better. She'd believe it.
Well, and it could have been even deeper than that. What if he said, listen, something really bad happened. You got so angry because she was sitting and you did something and made her seem like she's the one. And he's just protecting her, right? Something like that.
He could have done that.
I mean, if you want to keep going down that route, right?
Exactly. But my impression watching this woman was that she was afraid of him or afraid of something. And that she was very sincere, though, and I think of this, maybe the second interview, where it came through that she wanted her daughter home. And it became very clear then there was something that changed there that made me believe what she was saying right there near the end. Now, it was strange that the guy or the interviewer kept having to get her to say her daughter's name, that she wouldn't say her own daughter's name. But I think that might be a defense mechanism too, because I love my daughter so much and I can call her my daughter, but if I say her name and I was worried something happened to her, I would break down in tears. There have been times when I was worried because I hadn't heard from her. If I said her name, I would cry. And I think the lady might have been trying to keep from crying. That's just my point of view. And,
Yeah,
and that,
I mean,
like I said, having seen abused women, how they are, that she believed everything this guy told her. She wasn't lying. I don't think it would have been a deliberate lie for her to say she saw her at 8:00.
Yeah, so I guess, that's the thing, though. The 8:00 thing, I think, is the one element that it's a little more sketchy than the rest, right?
Oh, it's definitely sketchy, but from her point of view, if she were abused and he told her, honey, don't you remember? She was right here. at 8 o'clock, you stuck your head out, said you felt lousy, you saw her, and you just don't remember because you were barely awake.
Right, so that might be sort of related to what I was saying earlier. You could just say, you should have been awake. And sort of the same thing, it's sort of a guilty thing. Both of those. Like, even that one's like, hey, you just don't remember.
Maybe.
It's your fault. You don't really want to, it's like blaming
but I
her.
think she believed it. I think she believed it when she said it.
Right, so your one is something that she believes something that she really did, where the other one is my scenario would be that she should have seen it, but she was too inebriated or something where she didn't wake up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think she believed it, whether he messed with her head or not. I think he messed with her head, and I think he probably drugged her too. And I think he probably drugged her on previous occasions, if that were the case. This is just a guess, I'm not saying that's what happened because I don't know. But I've seen how some of these guys work. And, some of these women that I've worked with and tried to help, it's really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I cared about these women, and it is frightening the way they work these women and make the women so unsure about what they did or didn't do or see. Something tells me that he just had such control over her, and that maybe by this point, by the second interview, she was starting to wonder. She just had some funny looks on her face, and I got the feeling that she was starting to wonder what really did happen, and it was making her scared.
It's almost like when she said we and then he. It's almost that's kind of when you could sort of say she was sort of wondering in her own mind at that moment, like, yeah, we took her. Well, he's the one that dropped her off there, and then she's kind of wanted to make sure to. It seemed like she was thinking a little differently in those moments, right? But just a little bit. It's hard to say, though. I mean, it's just a weird case because she's kind of twitchy and she's all over the place.
Yeah, Grace, she wasn't sure. At some point, I thought maybe she's questioning, and not quite there yet because she wanted to believe him. And she was so fearful that something terrible had happened to her child. But she wanted to believe that she was still safe.
Well, I think the stuff that we've been talking about tonight is like it actually makes more sense than something else. Like this way of thinking. We've talked about these things throughout these days, but most of the people following the case want there to be a witch hunt, against the mom. And go after her like she's and it's still possible. I mean, the thing is I don't know. It wouldn't shock me either way. That's what I'm saying.
It would shock me. It would shock me.
If I don't think she has something to do with the murders.
All of it from the get-go.
Well, I think it's possible that she knew. Yeah, it would be a little bit shocking if she woke up in the morning knowing that her daughter was already dead and this was this whole plan, but she didn't have even if she didn't have anything to do with it. The murder, she's helping covering up that. That would be pretty strange, but it wouldn't shock me at all if she is. I don't know. I guess to me, it's not.
It would shock me if she knew already before she were interviewed that her daughter was already dead.
Yeah, that would
and
be,
that she was just covering for him. That would shock me because I don't see that in the way she was acting and speaking. I saw someone who was very confused and maybe who had been coached and was starting to wonder why. She started to figure out something wasn't right, but she didn't know what exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I see it, because I got the impression she did care about her daughter, and I think as far as the reflection in the sunglasses, didn't all those children wear that exact uniform that she rattled off about the shorts and the top, the dark shorts and the top. That was a school uniform. The way I understood it, wasn't it?
I don't know. It looks like she had jeans on and a green top.
That's what she was really wearing.
Yeah.
But what she was supposed to be wearing was that uniform, like was reflected in his glasses with the dark shorts and the top.
Well, somebody said that was the mom, but I'm not sure I believe that's the mom. That looks like a little girl.
That wasn't the mom.
With a backpack.
And I'm pretty sure I read in an article, a news article, I can't point to it because I don't remember where now, that the school uniform was dark shorts, a lighter colored top, and that could have been any kid walking past that church in those clothes that the girl was not wearing with the jeans and all, what she was supposed to be wearing to go to school. Yep, that's what I had read.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm more interested in the other stuff. That stuff we're just randomly speculating, but I think I think that other stuff that you're saying is pretty, definitely possible that he just sold her a story saying, you know this, you were awake, and made her believe it, but she thinks, oh man, I had too many drugs, and maybe, or was drunk or too tired or something. I just don't remember, but yeah, he's telling me the truth.
Or she may not have realized she'd had so many drugs. Or we don't know. We don't have any idea. There are guys who will, if he would drug that girl with that child with something in her drink, who's to say he wouldn't have drugged the mother ahead of time on those evenings so that she wouldn't wake up and see what he was doing? We don't know. But I have known women who were abused, and one of them was just heartbreaking. But anyway, she ended up moving away. Husband ended up getting custody of all 3 kids. That was terrible. Very, very terrible. Because he was such a manipulator and a liar. And those kids were abused. And he did it for years. He spun it. Church. They're unbelievable, these guys, when they're this bad. They're few and far between, but there are some that could convince anyone of anything, and they just don't have a soul. I'm sorry, they just don't.
Yeah.
And I think this guy could be one of them.
Yeah, it could be. All right. Well,
anyway, I want to say thank you for everything and let you know. I'll be real fast now. It's a measure of your character that you interrupted your show to check on your dog. And boy, that means more to me than anything. I appreciate that about you. If I ever had any doubts, which I didn't, that sealed it. We know you're a good guy.
Oh, well, God, I hope it doesn't come down to that. I mean, Jesus. But anyways, why wouldn't you care about your dogs? Okay. But anyways.
Well, but see, that shows how good you are. Thank you for everything. Good night.
All right, thank you. Good night. I think, oh, there we go. That worked. So either Zoom isn't on or Skype isn't on anymore there. The hell is that? Okay. Turn it off. Hey, thanks, Amber Maiden. The lull wave. Is anybody going to help out on the end of the show with that? Those lulls are devastating, man. They feel like you're just, skating on ice backwards. Let's see. We get the... I'm going to find that picture again of the face. Is it way back? Yeah, there it is. I don't know. I mean, the hair could be in the front, dangling down. That doesn't mean their hair is short like that. Could be in the front. But look at that. There's a backpack. Look how skinny those legs are. The mom looks like she's sort of stockier, don't you think? I don't know. That just looks like a tiny girl that's like 4'8". I mean, hey, thanks, Mysterium C. Thanks, Amber Maiden. I don't know. Does that look like a 30-something-year-old woman right there, you guys? I mean, just be on. I mean, don't be like, well, I was told it was somebody, so therefore it has to be. I mean, just look at that. I don't know. Thanks, Mary Buchanan. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it to me. I mean, this looks like a backpack here. The hair, I don't mean, we don't know what her hair's. The hair looks dark in that picture, but, you know, the lighting is crappy. It's in a pair of sunglasses. Okay, now the glasses distort the image, so therefore it makes her look. That's bullshit. Okay. Yeah, so you do get the fisheye lens, but you can see it's pretty good. Look at the pond, and the tree barely has a curve to it. She's right in the middle. It's actually a camera. You know, it's like a camera filming the lens. I don't know. This person looks very small. It could make, that might be, you know, maybe the lens makes her look smaller, but I don't know. I mean, look at the camera he's holding is up high too. It's like higher than, because it's a reflection of the glasses, his phone in the glasses too. I don't know. If it's the mom, then, you know, whatever. It must be a different time, because she doesn't the mom look a little stockier? She doesn't look, well, let's go look at that interview again, because she stands up next to him, right? This one. Yeah, she does. Maybe she looks stockier there, but maybe, let's see. Well, she doesn't have short hair either. Look at her hair, you guys. It's long. Maybe it's not in this one where she stands right now, or isn't it right at the yeah. This one might not have it, but she's standing next to him. But she doesn't have short hair either. So couldn't you just take your hair and move it to the front and then... Yeah, but that's a long time ago. That's 2 years ago. So there's no though. There's no though that fixes something. Yeah. She's so very nervous, bouncing legs excitedly.
Okay. So the first question is if I can have your last name, and spell them both out for me.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry.
See, my thing is, I don't know if I'd have time to... One thing that bothers me about this is having time to sort of chuckle and think it's funny that a parrot's making noises, and, you know, I'd be yelling at the freaking parrot and knocking the parrot out of its cage when I'm trying to do a report on my missing child, okay? I wouldn't have any patience for something like that. But that's me, right?
By the middle school, on the cameras, they saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little
I
bit
know,
and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything. Every store.
Now the last caller is, what do you mean, Greg? I don't know what the lady that called, that was a nice caller, the last one. But now she's probably, well, you're mean because you would have knocked the bird cage over.
Oh gosh, I just had it tip of my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it. That's about it.
And you said this is not like her.
Not at all.
To run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like this. No.
Well, she does. She's on I mean, remember the one guest we had says she does take medication for her bipolar. And he said, he referred to like a whole bunch of different medications. So who knows? You know, you got to get the balance just right with bipolar, right? And I know that because my dad is a doctor. So therefore, I'm an expert in medical. If you ever need a surgery or anything like that, you give me a call because my dad is a doctor.
If you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie.
You know what I'm
saying. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
Your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephan Sterns.
Stephan Sterns. So his friend said he's stoned out of his mind in this shot right here. That's what he looks like.
Hansterns.
It probably helped him look like he has red eyes because he's been crying all day, right?
All right, so Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
Well, I was just
dropped her off, and
everything looked fine.
Everything looked fine, and right away, and
so
I drove away.
We saw her.
That was the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way.
She was asleep most of the way.
Told her have a good day.
Told her have a good day.
I love her.
And I love her.
Thanks, love you too.
She said thanks, you too.
That was it.
And so, where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
And what's weird is right now he's picturing that he put her inside the hedges on a road.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off.
She isn't. You know that, right? She didn't run off. In fact, you're the one that put her where she eventually was found.
We don't know where she can be.
Well, when you say we, maybe she doesn't, but you know exactly where she is.
We're scared.
And you're not scared. So when you say we're scared, you're adding her in there because you can't say I'm scared because you're not. You know exactly where she is.
We just want her home.
Well, she's not going to be coming home, Stephan Sterns, because you killed her.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
Or you at least dumped her body after she died somehow.
It's hard.
Are you blaming yourself? It's hard not to, he says. He couldn't help from saying it's hard not to. Right? It's hard not to blame myself. Because I'm in fact the one that did it. But anyways...
Not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day.
Bought your vape juice and everything.
It's hard not to blame myself.
You shouldn't have gone on with the rest of your day. It is hard not to blame yourself when behind the eyes right there, you already know that she was in your car dead, and then you drove her body and put her in a hedge.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, but it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe.
Well, let's see it. Where is it, Zozo? Send me the Twitter picture.
We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops.
Yeah, I mean, I even went out with the cops.
Where I had dropped her off.
Where I dropped her. I even went out. Right, like that's hard work, right? Wow, yeah. I even went out, like, you'd think when somebody says, I even did something, it would be like, oh man, I even hiked 10 miles through the woods, and man, it was just brutal. I was looking all over the place, and then I got my other friends, and we went over here, Here's this. I even got a ride with the cops to point at where I dropped her off. Wow. I mean, that's like the bare minimum basic stuff that somebody would do.
We looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising.
There he is. Look at that. That's probably when he was collecting semen in bottles, everybody. Right there, everybody. There it is. Let's give a hurrah for Stephan Sterns, who at that point was collecting semen in bottles. Thank you very much. Okay. Wow. Thank God he grew that beard.
The street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and
now let me do this part here.
We were just scared. We just want her home.
We're scared. We just want her
Have
home.
you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah.
I even went out with the cops.
I even went out with the cops. I did the bare minimum, for God's sake. I pointed
where I had dropped her off.
I pointed right where I dropped her off. It was really
we
tough.
looked all up and down the road, all along the communities.
Wow.
There was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were
Yeah, I'm
pointing
sure you weren't very helpful at all.
Street.
Nothing. I was so relieved when we were looking at the cameras, and nothing seemed to be helpful pointing towards me. I want to let you know that too, because had we seen anything useful, you might have heard about it by now.
Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising.
It is shocking, isn't it? You feel so fortunate right now. As a matter of fact, he's gripping onto a $20 bill he has in his pocket because he's going to go gamble with it later.
The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was
That's such a fortunate thing. You know, a lot of people think that that's the mom on there. I don't think so. But it's weird how he's so excited about. I mean, it would be amazing to have this other girl moving around on a church camera right when you claimed that you dropped her off.
It was grainy. It was grainy footage, and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
So somebody else, he must just be like, wow, I am so lucky. There was this other girl on that camera.
What was the language? Not language verbally, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13.
Right, she had a happy weekend. She wanted to deflect to a time where maybe she was happy. Right.
It was her 13th birthday party.
Yep, you remember that, but
she was happy that we were all together here.
Wow. So that makes you almost think that she wasn't happy that they were all together here. Right? Because why would he say that comment? Oh, yeah, she was so happy we were all here together. Because he wasn't supposed to normally be there. And it's almost like he's saying, hey, you know, I'm coming. I wasn't here for 3 months, but I showed up. But she was so happy I was here. See, that's one of those little things that he's trying to try to get them to believe that, oh, God, it was so awesome that I was here. There was no negativity at all. Even though apparently I was broken up from her, wasn't even living here anymore, but I came up here. But yeah, man, they were so happy to see me, and everything was great.
She's just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. Not feeling her presence here is... Sorry.
I mean, I guess there's a possibility that he feels bad about her death. Like he cared about her, but he, you know, so he can draw on the emotions to make it look like he's upset at certain times. You know, we don't know.
It's hard.
Seems Seems kind of like totally bogus to me, though.
Then need to apologize.
The way he cries.
What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl.
You know, it's interesting how both of them never said was or anything like that. Ever. So the murder, or what do they call it? The behavior panel would be confused here. They'd be going, wow. Like somebody up above, they mentioned biting the lip. That means they watched the behavior panel. And I just got to tell you, I think a lot of that stuff is just quackery. All right? I know it's interesting and kind of fun and interesting. You know, but those guys... you know, have you ever noticed they're always really good after the fact? Look at the way this person looks like this. Look at the way they look like that. They're turning their eye. Now watch when they move their right eyebrow up. That means that it might not mean a damn thing. It might not mean anything. People aren't all the same. Yeah, I'm sure they did. And I bet they were just, look at him. Look at that tail. Look at that one.
Just
right,
be nice
Nikki?
to her.
I bet they
If
did.
you find her, tell her that we
Now that he's been arrested, they feel safe.
love her.
I mean, I can do it too, right? All the things I was pointing out.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah, she's a good kid.
He didn't say she was a good. He doesn't say was.
She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence.
And I don't believe in the tense thing doesn't mean jack crap. Okay? When somebody says, oh, look at, they use past tense. It doesn't mean anything. They use it on every one of their shows. It doesn't mean a damn thing. People talk like that. I've seen people absolutely innocent proven later where they use past tense the whole time. And some parents get mad at the other spouse because they use past tense. And that is, doesn't it suck that people have to be aware of not saying that so that the super sleuths on the internet don't jump on their back?
Waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police.
I don't care about that shade, kid. I don't give a shit. Okay.
Over 24 hours right now. And one complete sentence, what would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other.
Yeah, it is a living nightmare. And every time you look in the mirror, you're seeing that nightmare.
Yeah, I just want to wake up.
And know the day didn't start like every other.
You just get hit with waves of the reality, just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last.
Let me ask you something though. He's a stepfather. I mean, he's not even a stepfather. He's a boyfriend. At this point, she's just missing, right? Isn't this guy like way overboard here? Like just way over the top in terms of like just this devastation mode that he's in. And the mom, who is still kind of wondering, man, maybe she's out there. Maybe we can. I don't know. Just seems a little strange. Little off. He should be the one because he's the boyfriend of, Jen. He should be the strong one, even though he's the one that dropped her off or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems too much for me, a little bit, like over the top of emotions.
Last night we started falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end. And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing.
You knew it wasn't going to come to an end. How do you know that? How did you know? You knew. So he says we knew it wouldn't come to an end. But he knew for certain it wasn't going to come to an end because he knows exactly where she is at this time. So how do you know that she knew that it wasn't coming to an end?
Conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful.
Yeah, see, notice how that's sort of strange. None of it's conclusive. He's actually excited, I bet you, in his mind. None of it's conclusive. None of it's helpful. Hey, Chris, please don't bring up Chris Watts. This guy is nothing like Chris Watts at all, okay?
We just wanted a baby girl back.
Tom, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
Just because you told them.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. It's hard to say who this is right here. Well, you guys, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. A lot of extra hours put in and a huge lull during that exact time. So thank you to Elbow Coffee Cup for becoming a new member, Mama She 13, Lasso Lacey, Georgina Stoliker, K Me, Mustang Sally, 6 months and a super chat, Chicken Wing LM, Ron Logan is not your bish, Amber Maiden, Cindy Lynn, Jessica Schubach, Cindy Lynn, Georgina Stoliker, Wendy Van Rokel, A Blank Slate, Cindy Lynn, Peter Animata, Diana Lafferty, Tara again, Animata, Cyabane, Not That Amber, Debbie 220, then Callie Gal 3, who jumps in there with a cat eye, who figured out what the hell was going on. Then Eliza Jimenez, DB, a new member, Nicole B, Callie Gal 3, Tara, Diana Lafferty, Nikki Zubs, and then Colleen Kavanaugh's been here for 7 months, then Plato, then Marie Antoinette gifted a membership, Tawny Lee gifted a membership, Jessica Schubach, Kathy Perez, new member, Amanda K, Engine HB, Lisa Valenzuela. Then I gifted 5 memberships to the freaks out there. Then Jessica Schubach, Amber Maiden said Lol Wave, Mysterium C, Mary Buchanan, and then Ozzy Trisha right there at the buzzer. All right. So anyways, thank you guys for being here tonight. Look, how long was this one? It was, what are we at here? Wow, 3 hours and 38 minutes, and it's 11:23. That's crazy. All right. Anyways, I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I thought that was interesting conversation. Thank you for all the people who called in. Thank you for everybody helping the channel. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Zozo, for some of the screenshots you sent me. And thank you. And sorry that there's trolls out there, and sorry that they show up on my channel. Seems like nightly. Nothing you can really do about it. It's just the way it is. All right. So I hope you guys thought the show was entertaining or interesting at least. And we'll see you tomorrow. All right. And as I always say, hit that like button out the door, everybody. As I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while
Crime
now.
dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya. Crime dissector. If your crime is ugly like a no protector. Crime sector is mine. Hit your Professor Gray's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, chicken nectar. And I'm always gonna be a nectar. Fool up like that intercept crime. And I mean a friend, a strangler with a vector on his nectar. With all the factual, just remember I can check so I have no agenda or no agenda. And also the tea is made without the blender. And in the end I'm gonna send ya.
I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. Hey, that was pretty cool, Mary Lou. It was
I'm gonna send
a little odd. It was like
on a mission to reveal the true
It was like
offender.
Bach almost. It was almost like Bach, with
Yeah,
his.
so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody.
His fugue, you had the same thing going at a different time, though.
Exactly, Greg, exactly. Thank you.
All right. What happened? What happened there? What did Anthony France say? What did they do? What happened? Who? Maybe next time. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? All right. See you guys later. Be safe out there.